Boop, boop. Okay, that should do it. Alright, hell yeah. You should even have sound from Pillars of Eternity, and hopefully that turns out pretty well, right? Here's hoping. Hello, and welcome to Monday Night Pillars of Eternity with Professor Jimbles. Hello, Luxie. Sub anniversary. Fantastic. God is good. God, just reminds me of some other streamers I'm thinking specifically of Loading Ready Run, where they've got to 100 months. Good lord. How time passes. I don't know if I'll ever get that high, but it'd be pretty cool. I think the short-term goals are like, or even the long-term goals are like, finish Pillars of Eternity. 1 and 2, huh? Then we'll see what happens. Medium-term goal, do we want to finish all of Final Fantasy? Corey, hey buddy. 86 months. Corey, that's incredible. Good job. Very good indeed. God. It's your sub anniversary. You get to 9 months and becomes a sub baby. 9 months. I think, like, I think about it, and the next steps, I imagine, to increase my reach and my fame and become even more important to the world of Twitch is to collaborate with other Twitch streamers, right? That would be it. Turn up on everyone else's streams and be like, hey, I'm Professor Jimbles. We play role-playing games and we talk about how they affect your tabletop games. And I try to put on silly voices but make them not quite as silly as they could be. We'll see how it goes. Corey, thank you so much. We're all subs here. It's pretty cool. It's gratifying, even if like it's a since there's been no monetary payout from Twitch yet, and I've got to get to $100 first. It is interesting to be like giving it out as like my friends just reach out and be like, hey, have this thing, it's nice. I'm like, oh, thank you, it makes me feel good. The platform is successfully monetized, so that process makes me feel happy that you are including me in this process. I gotta pay it back, cook people dinner or something, would be fantastic. Pay in other favors of some sort. Maybe play with someone's Joy-Cons. Hey buddy. Yeah, look, we encourage subs and switches. I also helpfully encourage other DOMs too, if there are any in chat. Usually it's just me. That's not entirely true. I wouldn't say Comrade drifts in any particular direction. To the left? Well, I guess the channel itself drifts at least slightly to the left, right? But that's more politically than anything else. Shifting sideways, moving all over the place. Yeah, more than slightly when it comes to political drift here. When it comes to sexual drift, I don't know. I stay relatively on target. It's just a really wide target, that's all. Very rarely have I gotten distracted and forgotten someone or something that I wanted to go after. That makes me sound real creepy, I guess. Maybe I've earned enough reputation to be like, he probably didn't mean that in a creepy way. I'll check with him. Who knows? Here's hoping. Oh, how does that work for you, Luxie? Is it satisfying? Well, congrats, comrade. I hope each step in that chain feels closer and closer to something you're satisfied and proud of at each stage. And get even more proud as you go. Yeah, it sounds like a fun time, exactly. And no, I'm not going to get into quibble about buy versus pan, and I won't let other people get into that either. Yeah, it's a thing you don't have to think about. I only see hot people. That's all I pay attention to. If they're attractive, I go for it. Not following my train of thought, wherever that may have gone. Don't get me banned again. I've never been banned. Actually, once I was banned from a Final Fantasy fan forum because I was too young to be there anyway, and it was very obvious and easy to tell that I was like 13. They did the right thing. I don't blame them. Fan forums, man, that was a thing. I'd only ever played one of the fucking games at that point. Wow, brings back memories. Banned and then later made a mod. What that's... Now that's a pipeline. From banned user to mod to person with power pipeline. It doesn't surprise me at all that you were a major troll on a forum. Yeah. God. That's good stuff. Oh, hey, Dad Matt. There's a lot. It's not a bot, which is what I first thought you wrote. Thankfully, that's not the case. We've had a good Monday so far. I took the dog for like an hour's walk, then I came home and did an ab exercise, had a shower. Didn't rewash or re-dye the hair a little bit, and that's why you can see it's more yellow at the bottom. Which I like, to be honest. I like that it changes. It's interesting to not have the same hair color all the time. So maybe non-semi-permanent hair dye is my preference. Who knows? And then just enough time to get a drink, settle in, and start up Pillars. So let's fucking do it, right? Let's have a good game tonight. Music pauses. Ah, look at that beautiful title screen. Let's click the continue button and it'll opens. Lamb Shadows is save. And we can gaze at the beautiful background and the wonderful world map. And boy, we're going to get our fucking ship today. That's for goddamn sure. We're going to get on our ship and we're going to sail it, and it's going to be really satisfying. Hell yeah. Oh, anyone want to hear a hot take? Hey, everyone in chat, who wants to hear a hot take? Love hot takes. Yes, please. So, okay, I was watching Let's Note by Loading Ready Run, and shout out to our favorite wholesome Canadian comedians. Ben and Adam were playing a game called Devour, and it is a horror game, and it is a horror survival game that has objective-based gameplay. And it involves performing a small series of objectives while a AI creature is hunting you. So similar in some sense to Dead by Daylight. Some sense. It's not nearly as monetized, though it is monetized. It's cheaper by design and is themed around a cult. You're not just a survivor, you're also causing trouble. Fair enough. Holy shit, does that gameplay seem incredibly boring to me. Hands up, I'm innocent, I swear, please don't blame me for it, but fuck me, is it boring. What it is walking around a large area and picking up things and taking them to a specific spot, and then trying not to get killed.
Are we gonna fight someone? I want to throw the first punch.
And getting jump scared, or trying not to get jump scared in that process. And fuck me, does that sound boring as hell. God damn. I'm glad it was Alex and Ben, because I like watching those people entertain.
Sure.
But that gameplay seems...
You are joking.
I'll say the captain is quite handsome.
But sister, they are so small.
Might be more fun to play than watch. Yeah, possibly. I mean, I'm not one to talk. It's not just horror. I thought it was just me and horror. I'm like, I don't want to be jump scared. I'm not interested in that. That would be bad. So this is what comes to being soft, Makaha. This one will not leave. Be elsewhere. And like, yeah, maybe I just don't want to be jump scared. I'm not interested in that. I'm trying to get killed, or you get jump scared, and you try not to get jump scared and get killed. You just wander around and you try not to get killed. Being killed involves being jump scared, but you don't die immediately. You get to crawl around on the ground and hear someone go, oh no, for like a minute, while someone tries to come heal you, or they die. Clusters of coral dot the watery landscape with bright blooms of colour. They sure do. Yeah, I dig it, Corey. Like, that's exactly what it's going to be. Because there's fucking nothing else going on. Like, you can tell the animators and designers and everyone who invented and worked on the game spent a lot of effort, like, making their monster look vaguely interesting and setting up incredibly basic, like, lore to go through. But, like, I don't know. It just feels nothing there. I don't know why you play them feels kind of shallow. And that's my hot take for it. I'm not going to get into Dead by Daylight because apparently it's got a really hard loading curve. And is a greater scale version of that that's also heavily monetized. I think it's funny when I say things like your tabletop party, the people you're playing with really make the game as well. If they're engaged and they're working with you, they can make the experience of playing the game with them. But also, you pick up a system and work at it together. There's meat there to sink your teeth into, and a lot of the time, one of the people who is making the experience is also the GM that's like, here is what I'm putting forward, and it will be vaguely interesting by itself anyway. Ekara, what a storm. You're lucky to be alive. Elfania? Oh, she just wandered off. Oops. I was going to speak to her. It's probably a time thing. Okay, now that I've had my rant, let's talk to the storm speaker. Seated upon a chair before the bonfire, Ikawa looks considerably more comfortable here than in her home village. She prods absently at the coals with a long stick. Ikawa's lined face is pocked with fading scars, but there's no hostility in her calm appraisal as you approach. Appraisal? Appraisal. Yeah, one of your people trying to get you, and that would be interesting, more interesting, because there's something to laugh at. Kind of feels like playing tag on the beach with friends, to me. Like, it doesn't really matter who wins, you're just doing your thing together and there are moments of excitement over time. Yeah.
I have had it shown to me on a map, the lands at the edge of the world. I did not ever think to meet a man from such a place.
She's responding to the fact that we're from the White Winds.
They told me what became of your ship. I say again that you are lucky. It is the only ship that survives. I could protect Port Mage, or else its ships, but not both. Perhaps Clario thinks I chose poorly.
So there's not much explanation of what's going on here, right? We walk up and she immediately starts by saying, I don't really know where you're from, and that's surprising, and I'm glad your ship survived, because it's the only one here. And she says, I could protect Port Mahe or Mage, or else's ships. So she's saying she did something to protect them with the Storm Speaker. I'm like, okay. We don't have a question that's like, straight up, what happened? So let's try and figure it out from perception first. Doesn't look like the storm did much damage here.
To a Storm Speaker, the storm is a friend, gentled by a word. And Satahuzi is blessed with several Storm Speakers. We were able to shield the village from much of the weather. Some of it is mere luck. Most of our canoes were here by the shore. We did lose one of our voyagers. It will take some work to replace it.
Okay, well, let's try inside as well. I guess you and the governor don't really get along.
Better than it may seem. Clario can be reasoned with, especially if one approaches him with coin in their pocket. He is not a cruel man. I suspect he might even enjoy life on the island if he were free of his masters.
Well, let's go through and ask the rest of the questions. We have it's interesting that we don't get to start the conversation with something like, "Hi, who are you? Why am I here? What's going on? Can you tell me?" Like, in the first town of Pillars 1, we enter Gilded Vale and we get dunked immediately into the setting. But we're given the opportunity to ask a whole bunch of questions, like, who is Raedric? What is going on? Why is the Hollowborn going on wrong? What's happening? Here, we're just like, there's a storm. But do you have anything more about, like, Aethys? No? It's slower, and it actually suits Pillars 2 better, because Pillars 2 happens over a much longer period of time.
Akira, do not all people trade for the same reason? The Valians have brought us guns, medicine, wine, and food. Some of them we have even convinced to help with the canoes. My people have come to enjoy these things. The medicine has helped many of the children recover from fever. We gain from this peace. So long as Clario keeps his company masters away, we lose little.
Yeah, good point, Moxie.
Yes, one of the old titans, say the priests. Andra is angry. Though why, our priests do not know.
That was a response to...
I am only glad it has journeyed elsewhere.
That was a response to, did your people see the giant? That giant is Aethys. I need to know where he's going.
Aethys? Is it redemption you seek, then? You risk much to chase a god across the sea.
And there...
The Dawn Stars, too, wish to meet this god. What if he does not wish to be found?
And there, she makes it pretty clear that, like, she still believes that is Aethys, and Aethys is still the god of redemption, even though it was blown up, and, like, ooh, kind of.
Yes, Ngati,
A titan?
Andra's realm, harbors many great beasts. They say the ancestors of the Kahanga tribe, and so their queen, hold pacts with such creatures. My priests wonder if this is her doing.
So I'm gonna mouse over that, because this is a interesting cultural reference. Ngati, and mouse over that, and it says, Ngati is a Huana trickster goddess with a humanoid body and the head of an anglerfish who is thought to lure mariners either into or out of trouble at her whim. They often worship her as Andra, making the Huana the only people that believe Andra has a physical manifestation. Mouse over Andra, who's supposed to be the same goddess, says goddess of oceans, forgotten things, loss, relentlessness, and mourning, said to have once fallen in love with the moon and had tried to draw it near with catastrophic consequences. People bring tokens to her temples of things they wish to forget, and her clergy sees the tokens cast into the sea.
Yes.
Which way?
I do not know. Most fled the sight of it, and Clario has provided little information. This was the subject of our argument. Perhaps he will tell you more.
Yeah, and it's not, like, overwhelming and the super coolest thing Pillars does, but at least it's making it clear that cultures worship the same divinity in different ways. Because they would. In any decent, large world-building endeavor, that should happen. Unless there's an external reason for it, in one of my settings I make it explicitly clear that there is a reason why the divinities are the same across the races and cultures. Because they are incarnations, they were people once. Can you help me free my ship?
Yes, but it will take Clario's assistance. Convince him, and I will aid you.
Why wait on Clario's word?
You are one of his people now. It falls on him to protect you.
I thought you should know that I found some Huana at the dig site. They were killed when Aethys arrived.
I see. Governor Clario would call it superstition. I know you speak truth. Are there worse omens than to hear that the god of rebirth has brought death upon your people? I thank you for delivering this news. I will tell their families, and we will mourn them together. But you will journey on, into the god's wake. I wish you luck, outsider. There are enough Mataru here to defend the village. You are safe.
So that's a little disjointed and odd because we also went to the dig site first. I bet she'd have more to say. Or perhaps say, could you go to the dig site and figure out what's going on? Look for my people? If we didn't go there first. We didn't sequence break the game, which is a term for
Easy does it.
doing things way before you're supposed to and therefore
Sorry, friend.
making the game break. But we certainly did go in a different way. Just a lore book. There's no particular reason why I'm running around and stealing that stuff. It's just I can get away with it. There's very little consequence for it, and it's a role-playing game, so a CRPG, so almost expected to
Give me a real challenge.
make away and steal common things.
Amura's winds blow sweet upon you.
Last step, let's go to the Chieftain's Lodge and see if there's anything else here. Otherwise, we go straight to our ship and we can leave. We finished essentially the tutorial island. No one in here either. Okay. I'd love to steal Thief's Putty.
Let's take a look.
Yoink! Alright, let's get out of here. Is there anything else we need to do while we're here? The drunk sailor, free him, return to Rinko, return to survey. Yeah, alright, well, we're not done yet. Back to Port Mai. This is nice too, you can go directly to a particular point instead of having to enter the zone and then move on. And that's nice. It's good to have that sort of shortcuts. It just feels good to do these sort of things. And a lot of the time you can do that in your tabletop game as well. Honestly, you do it like automatically. You'd go, oh, we're going to go to this
Keeping
place.
out of trouble? A little jest. What is it?
I'm going to go to this place. And then everyone will be like, oh, okay, let's just go straight there. We don't need to describe the streets again.
Perfetto. He's a little shitne, but a lazy one.
Sorry.
He will not cause trouble if he does not have to.
Sorry, I'm failing to read out Slim Shadow's dialogue, and I'll do a little better. I convinced Ilari to keep watch on Gorichi Street.
Easier to work with a familiar face for the moment. I can deal with him later. So, we have one small part of Port Mage under control. A good start. Well, here you are, for your time. If I had 10 men like you, the whole of Port Mage would be set right within the week.
But how
Keeping
about
out of trouble? A little jest.
any chance Ilora Rigere is fine?
Kue, don't tell me Rigere has earned your pity. That won't last.
She glances at the occupied cell, her nose wrinkling.
I do appreciate what you have done for me. So, if you will vouch for Rigere, I will lower the fine. 300 pieces will cover what he owes at the tavern. Something you wanted?
Here, I'll pay Rigere is fine.
Diverus? Well, good riddance to him. It's your coin to spend.
Savia pulls a ring of keys from her pocket and moves towards the cell door. It did work. You're totally right. Look, see?
Agasima, Captain. See you at your ship.
What it actually is, I'm pretty sure, is a reputation check. Rather than a have you done X quest. So you could get your reputation high enough to have her lower it by also completing the quest for Governor Clario, which is what we did. You could also do it by giving Rinko his purse back, which is what we're about to do. But I think it's only a binary. Like, is reputation high enough to do this thing? Yes, no. Rather than do everything first and get it for even lower. Remember, there are other opportunities, like you can throw explosives, you can stealth and pick the lock. The game's giving you many ways to deal with it.
Chanter. But if you have something to report, you'll have to take it to the commander. I've been asked to keep watch over this house. As if anyone would bother with this batso.
A Valian term for the penis, in a pejorative sense. think the text was something like, you've been a good help. That's a fine line.
Most days I'd fire up the kettle for you or something. Sorry.
Hey chat, 1 or 2 or 3, I guess, dead name. Just as a quick reminder, we did go speak to Mohoka. She did claim that she won fairly and Rinko insulted her, and that's true. But we could just say, but she did also apologize and then returned the money. We kind of spoke her into it by saying, yeah, he's a merchant. He can't fight for himself. So 1, I spoke to Mohoka. She claims she won fairly and you insulted her. And 2, here, Mohoka apologized and returned your money. And 3, I'll leave you to it. We just leave. 1 and 2 are equivalent if we get a follow-up. Good idea. We'll see. See if there's any other... Mokeha. Damn it, right? I am swapping with K and H. Mokeha. I think I was doing that last time as well. Well, at least I'm consistently incorrect. Professional streamer here, that's for sure. Okay. Well, 1 vote for 3 and 1 for 1, then 2, so I'm going to tie break and go for 1. I spoke to Mokeha. She claims she won fairly and you insulted her.
Surprise! The brute speaks! And you have survived the conversation in one piece.
Fuck you, Rinko.
Merla. Perhaps my tongue was loosened by drink. What of it? Is any man who insults the savage's pride due a beating? The law is on my side.
I'm going to press number 4 that says, it might help if you didn't call them savages.
I refer only to Mokeha, that shark-faced harpy. May Andra's beasts feast upon her eyes.
Rinko thrashes feebly in his bed, one fist raised defiantly.
She cheated me. Are we to lose our home for the sake of Clario's alliance?
And now we come to a more a more explicit choice now that we've got a little bit more information about how he feels about this. 1, here, Mokeha apologized and returned your money. Or 2, confess to Damo or spend the rest of your sorry life eating nothing but soup. Or 3, leave, I'll be back. What's the icon on 2? Intimidate! Because we are apparently strong enough to intimidate him, and here we can see the breakdown of why. We got 6. We require 2, 3 from self and 3 from party assist. He's a little shit. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a vote for 2. Let's do it. Rinko stares up at you, his eyes wide, his hands gripped tightly at the sheets.
It is not enough that she has ruined me. Now you threaten me in my home. Please, for the sake of my son, I will tell the guards the truth. I swear it.
Now I want to give him the purse.
I must hope that Clario's dogs will be more merciful than you.
Oh my god. End dialogue. Yeah, so what I want to do is give him the purse and be like...
The moment the ship arrives, I will
Can I
take my
borrow a
family
sword?
back to
I
Ostia.
promise to be careful.
No Vela.
Mama brings me stuff from her work sometimes. Real old stuff.
Yeah, exactly, Luxie. I loved it. Like, we told you, you gotta go confess. Being a little shit. Adamo.
Gods, I beg you, grant me a posting on the far side of the world.
Wonder if we... Yeah, I think we need to give that... Oh, right. Bluff and diplomacy. I don't want to take it off you, buddy. It's just extra perception, chance to not die. You're the man now, dog. Yeah, like giving it to the kid would be even better. It'd be hilarious.
It look better by comparison.
And the quest is well and truly complete. There's literally nothing more we can do. Let's get out of here. I think it would be really funny to give it to the kid now and be like, here you go. Or like go to his landlord and be like, here you go. Landlord. No, I just want to give it to him and be like, alright, now that you've said you're absolutely going to confess, I'm going to watch you do that. And then, here you go, your reward for being honest. You don't deserve to have your shit stolen from you, that sucks. But you know what else you shouldn't do? Call people savages, you dick. Yes. Summon, remove dexterity, affliction, explode a downed enemy. That's pretty cool. Paralyze enemies for 3 invocations. It's pretty good. I don't think... Thick grew their tongues, stumbling over words. Immunity to concentration attacks. Removes concentration from enemies. It's pretty cool. Do we want to get a Cypher skill instead? Got Mind Blades last time. I think I would actually like to get another... Yeah, let's get a invocation. An offensive invocation. Blow up a corpse. Still the most athletic out of all of us. Gotta give you streetwise too. Gotta fight a stance. Got 2-weapon style. That's pretty good. 30% of all grazes turn to actual hits is very good for a rogue because they're attacking so often. What do you have? Crip shield? No. Some hits turn into crits. It's pretty good. We could also just be able to blind. Do that. It costs guile, but it's worth it. Lovely. Ah, dear. You're the best swashbuckler we have. I don't want to get any of these skills to be too low. Shame we don't have, like, one of the companions I thought we'd have at this point who will deal with religion for us. Whoops. Whoever could that be? You'll find out soon. Calm down. Gain concentration. Can't get interrupted. The beginning of every fight could be very useful. Nearby. Interrupt as well as an armor rating and deflection reduction. We love that. But Aloth also cast Fireball a lot, so we'll give that too. Oh, wizards. No sense of right and wrong. Our favorite kind. Right. Let's get out of here. An hour and 47 minutes to leave. I'm something. Sorry, Vela. I don't know what you are, and I don't know what you're doing, as much as I'd love you to tell me. Literally nowhere else to go here on the island. We've investigated everywhere. Yes, we have. Back to Villaria's Rest. Pick up our ship and get the fuck out of here. I'm bored. Yeah, probably. Shadows. Yes, Veil of Shadows. Aloth won't stop making faces at me. I'm not making faces. He is. He's not.
Good, you are here. Clario has made good on his promise. We are making ready to free your ship.
The Kawa gestures towards your vessel, where a motley group of Wana and Valine workers race to and fro.
I say still that you are fortunate. The ship was nearly lost, but it will float. For how long, I cannot say. You will wish to find a friendly port with some speed, I think.
Here's the thing. Aloth isn't making faces. Isilmir is. Cool, little one. Do you know where Nekataka is?
So you will go to the great Kahanga city as well. You must sail north for some time, and then a little east. Take care in Nekataka, outsider. It will close its jaws around you, and you will never notice.
Whoa.
Come. We will see your Defiant out to sea.
Thank you. And look. Quest completed. Stranded. You have received a curious message from Harbinger Vatnir. Read. Wax sealed letter. This is for DLC. The game is not truly written to have this just appear as soon as you get your ship. Quest item. This missive, written in what looks to be dried blood on a slice of tanned leather, came to you rolled and sealed with the mark of the Aurochs. Lettering spidery and sharp suggests that the sender may have been shivering as they composed it. Most glorious watcher of Cadnua, I cordially invite you to a feast to be held in your honor. A community of like minds have congregated at Harbinger's Watch, a small outpost located in the southern Deadfire Sea, to witness the Dead Flow's rapid expansion. Soon I shall consume all, and Rymagan's dominion over Dead Aora be unchallenged. We eagerly anticipate hosting your magnificence. With admiration for your many accomplishments, Vatnir, High Harbinger of Dusk. Okay. Huh. Who gives a fuck?
We should address the matter of our ship's resources before we get underway.
Yes, please, steward. Ammunition, 8. Medicine, 12. Repair, 7. Irena was injured. Yeah, well, her leg was crushed.
It saddens me to inform you that we lost several crew and most of our provisions during the storm.
We saved one of them.
However, Port Margé appears to be well supplied, and I expect the recent disaster has left several sailors in want of a ship.
That is true.
I suggest we contract for additional supplies and crew before we return to open water, or our voyage may indeed be a short one.
Okay. Tutorial ship-to-ship combat. In Deadfire, not every ship on the sea is friendly. Hostile ships can attempt to engage you in ship-to-ship combat. During ship combat, distance and orientation to the enemy are vital to your success. Distance determines if the enemy is in range of your cannons, or if you're in range of theirs. Orientation determines what cannons, if any, you can fire, as well as how easily your ship may be hit. Turning to your side to enemy may allow you to fire the most cannons, but also makes you an easier target. Each ship must maintain its sails and hull. Damaged sails limit the speed of a ship. If a hull is destroyed, the ship will sink. A ship's cannons are also limited by how much ammunition you're carrying. Yes, exactly. Some of us are bi, so we can shoot cannons in both directions. At least one of our commenters and voices inside Slam Shadow's head is pan, and can shoot cannons in any direction. It doesn't matter what. That's particularly interesting. Cheers. When two ships get close to each other, they can board or ram. Boarding locks the two ships together and transitions to a deck-to-deck fight between... I love some deck-to-deck fighting. Between the two ship crews. A ramming attack does damage to the hulls of both ships. If one does not sink, the battle transitions to a deck-to-deck battle. Once you have victoriously sunk the other ship or defeated them in deck-to-deck combat, you can plunder what remains. Plunder usually includes ship resources, treasure, and occasionally the unique triumph of a noteworthy enemy captain. Coins can be shared with the crew to improve morale, and triumphs are always flown in your ship's rigging. Okay, that was a lot. I know. And on. Captain Ferrante is essentially coming straight for us. And they're much faster, so they catch us. Encounter another ship at sea. As the Defiant leaves Port Marche behind, you casually observe dozens of other ships coming and going, mostly fishing and trade vessels. One craft stands out. An imposing dhow, replete with cannons, crests into view across the Defiant's starboard bow. A flag raised high atop its sails signifies a wish to parley. However, the dhow approaches at an aggressive speed, suggesting that it may not be easily turned away. Hey chat, what do we do? 1, 2, or 3? 1. Face your pursuer head on. And 2. Attempt to outrun the dhow. Or 3. Do nothing. It's funny because Deadman usually votes for 3, which is essentially do nothing. But we could also leave. 2! Leave. There you go. Sometimes it's do nothing, sometimes it's leave at speed. Okay, I'm going to count 1 vote for 1 and 1 vote for 2, and I'm going to tiebreak for 1. Face your pursuer head on. You spin a ship's wheel counterclockwise. The ship swings around quickly, disturbing a gull resting on the foremast. The buoy voids a white splotch on the deck as a sign of its disapproval. You even out the wheel and bear straight towards the dhow. The distance closes quickly, and soon the massive dhow's hull rolls on the waves beside your ship. Boarding planks emerge and are quickly cast onto your ship along with shouts from its crew, notifying you that their captain will be boarding. Several well-armed men cross the planks, their eyes watching every inch of your ship. The crowd parts open to make way for their captain, a tall, well-dressed man. He peers at you with one impeccably groomed eyebrow raised. Following behind the captain, and in stark contrast, strides an unkempt Orlan. A pair of pistol grips protrude from his belt, and he casually twirls a stocky firearm round an index finger. His shaggy face, framed by long cobalt blue hair and a wildly braided cerulean beard, makes the crooked smirk he directs at you seem almost sinister. I wonder who we could be talking about. Oh, he's gone now. Damn.
Ador, Waterocado. On behalf of the Principes and Patrina, I must request we meet in parley.
Vela, get back! The broad-shouldered captain uptilts his chin in greeting. When he smiles, his left cheek divots a shallow dimple. You could have asked my attention before you couldn't have asked before you boarded my ship uninvited?
Echoes. It has been some time since I last asked another's permission.
He flourishes a courtly bow.
I have heard some marvelous tales regarding your ventures in the Deerwood.
They were good. There's like 29 episodes. You should check it out.
In fact, you are the first dragon slayer I have ever met.
Hey.
Outside of a grave.
Hey. We killed 0 dragons, despite my best efforts.
Some fools would seek to make a fortune by pilfering from one such as you.
I take it he is not one of those fools. Perhaps we should listen.
Aloth crosses his arms, cautious but curious. Under the captain's words, you hear a faint but insistent buzzing. It blooms, overwhelming Ferrante's voice, drowning out all else around you. No one else seems to notice. A vision. Thunder cracks between your ears, and you glimpse a different sun-shod sea behind your eyes. Let the visions come. The visions streak across your mind's eye, fleeting and incoherent. An elf, dark-haired and battle-scarred, stepping across the gulf between vessels. She shakes Ferrante's hand, and warmth spills through you. Excitement, pride, respect. The imagery melts like candle wax into lamplit galleys swamped with the scent of unwatered rum and sweet fruit, with soldiers and their songs and sweat. The scene billows away, ice cold and clawing, replaced with the crew on deck, Solomon staring as Ferrante grasps one of their own by their throat. No, not one of their own. No more. You don't steal from family and stay family. Tears and mucus mar the man's features as Ferrante reads the man his last rites. Thief or no, they'll consign him to Andre as tradition dictates. The vision passes, leaving you blinking on the deck of the Defiant, looking into Ferrante's face. He raises an eyebrow.
I believe you have met such a fool. Captain Benwiff of the Drake.
Despite the gravity of his words, he smiles grandly and the dimple cuts deeper into his left cheek. Hey chat, what do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? 1. I know a cipher's handiwork when I feel it. Tell yours to stay out of my head. 2. I remember the Drake. 3. You say this Captain Benwiff is the one who attacked me? 4. Wait, who are the Principes and Patrina? And 5. And your furry little companion happens to be? Slam sure does know the cipher's handiwork, now that he is one. Remember, in Pillars 1 you can't multi-class, but... in our terms, he spent a lot of time hanging around with Grieving Mother, forged a very strong relationship with her, and when she left to continue being the midwife of Defiant Village, which was her ending slide, turns out Slam learned enough to become a cipher, so now he is the Chanter cipher. We've got 1 vote for 1. I'll give it just a little bit more time before I say it. The blue Orlan's mouth falls open. Oh, sorry, dead man.
Voxen of ubildet merla. Careful, ship hunter. Mind that you do not confuse a useful skill set for a non-expendable one.
Voxen of Vulpenemerla. The lovely Valiant for you little fox shit! Ferrante glares at Serafin. Who would Serafin be? The Orlan steps back, blinking away the rebuke, and peers at you, probing. His yellow-green eyes narrow, unfocused, as if trying to remember something. And the captain turns a warm smile back to you.
My apologies. Rest assured, it will not happen again.
This is surprisingly polite. Think about it. He boarded us, did not give us much of a choice, and he's still being like, hey, person who is clearly in my employ, don't do that.
Apologies, Captain. Didn't mean it, really. We're up all night, you know, searching out our friend here.
He looks to you.
You've been at sea a while. Your mind starts playing tricks on you, aye? Well, mine plays tricks on others, too. Usually don't mean much. Maybe see a bit of shadow, hear a bit of tune. Not unless the person's sensitive. Like, say, a watcher.
He winks. I remember the Drake.
Gelarde. Then that should make this easy. I am keen to show my rascal of a compatriot some much-needed humility. I thought perhaps you may care to as well.
Ooh.
Ferrante's, do my job for me, friend. Hope you don't die in the effort.
Ferrantes. Interesting language. The rogue's words flit through your thoughts like darters. Not quite your own, but not entirely unlike your own either. So, Serafin's speaking to our mind directly. It's an interesting kind of change. Clearly Serafin is a cipher, of course. But you'll notice that the interpretation of this cipher is completely different to Grieving Mother. Grieving Mother hid from everyone and spoke only to you. And here, Serafin is like speaking directly to you, mind to mind. Alright. Where might I find Captain Benwiff? Say I wanted to teach him a lesson.
Benwiff's Drake took damage during the storm. Eventually he will need to dock for repairs, and when he does, Serafin can find him for you.
Ferrante flourishes a hand towards the Orlan at his side.
He is rather an unrefined creature, but he is a most skilled ship hunter, I assure you.
Unrefined? Begging your pardon, Captain, but I'd be the fucking model of the gentleman of fortune.
The Orlan scoffs.
As for Benwiff, that sucker of squid tits be as predictable as the tide. I'd wager all my furriest bits that he'd set sail for deadline.
That sucker of squid tits. I'd suck a squid tit or two.
That would be felicitous indeed, as I believe the traitor Remaro hides there as well. I quite enjoy killing 2 men with a single bullet.
Wouldn't have even thought of it if you hadn't brought it up, sir.
Yet you feel a surge of anger that's not your own. Serafin spins towards you and bows again.
Now, I ain't hardly in any hurry to leave the fine company of the gentlemen of leisure, but the captain be right about me finding your mark. Adding to that, you sail into Fort Deadlight not knowing your innies from your outies. You might very well find the locals cannon fucking your boat to sodden splinters.
He grins broadly. Ah, love a character that will refer to cannon fucking your boat. Why loan me your best ship, Hunter?
What venture does not require an investment to be prosperous? The Serafin is an allowance, which I expect you will return in one payment or another.
What can you do for me?
Are you asking aside from my vaunted ship hunting abilities, self-evident manners, and cyclopedic know-how of all things piratical?
Teeth glint between the curves of his smile. Pride. Aloth presses his lips into a thin line. Yes, aside from the obvious?
Well, there'll be me knowing my way around Fort Deadlight, so named on account of it being a fortress and all. I got my contacts inside, and I'll be half handy with a gun if shit goes belly up.
Aloth doesn't like pride. Aloth is not going to like Serafin.
Adding to that, I'll be right easy on the eyes, or so the lasses tell me.
He raises his eyebrows in 2 quick bumps. Quite easy.
I'd be the old package and a half, Captain.
He bows again, only half as low this time, his eyes never leaving yours. Aloth gives you a pained look. Pride again.
As you see, Serafin is both insufferable and marvelously useful.
Seems like you're eager to join me.
Well, of course I'll be eager to give Benwiff the old Evo. That half-cock's been a pain in our asses for the better part of, well, too fucking long. You said you met him, I? Seems the type that needs a bullet, don't he?
He projects his words a tad louder than necessary. I know there's something you're not telling me.
Aye, there's boat holds I ain't telling you, Watcher. I ain't telling you about the lass I have back on Deadlight. Ain't telling you what we did or didn't do last time I seen her, neither. Certainly ain't telling you about the secret pirate handshake that'll get you in the door.
Secret pirate handshake, you say? Ferrante shakes his head, but his smile widens into a sincere grin. Welcome aboard, Serafin.
Oh, you won't be regretting this, Watcher. At least so long as you keep us heavy in grog and light on the onions. Ugh, them dirty shit apples ain't never agreed with me, and I'll be suspecting they never will.
He pats his belly as he strides to your side. Dirty shit apples! Onions are gorgeous. How dare you, Serafin? Though I do know some very beloved people, and onions can set them off. So, like, maybe you're in good company. But it's still delicious. How dare?
He's not sleeping near my berth, I promise you that much.
Fair enough, Aloth.
I sail now for Dunwich, my own safe port. I will await you there, should you be successful in schooling our wayward captain.
New quest. Blow the man down. Serafin, choose a single class or multi-class for this companion. This choice cannot be changed later. Okay, so here's a decent question, and like, I feel sorry for everyone in the VODs. I mean, shout out to everyone in the VODs. It is lovely to see you tonight. I hope you're having a good Monday, or Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Whenever you're getting around to watching it, it is lovely. See, here's the other one. Here's the rubs. Like, we debated the idea of whether Aloth is going to be a wizard, a rogue wizard, or a fighter wizard. But in the end, wizard is just the best choice for our friend Aloth. So, here we have the idea of Serafin, who is a cipher, a barbarian, or a witch, which is a barbarian cipher. Now, I should note, if we choose barbarian, he will still have cipher powers in his companion quest, and when we're talking to him and that sort of thing, he will refer to like being in our head, because that won't go away. But it's just mechanically, in-game, he won't have any of the cipher powers, and that's okay. You'll also notice he has the cipher subclass of Wild Mind, which is not detailed out here. Oh, there it is. Cool. With a cipher who developed the powers without formal training, never learning to properly focus their energy, they're capable of violent surges. Cipher spells have a chance to trigger an unexpected effect. Often, but not always, aiding the party. Sometimes it has other undesirable effects. It doesn't tell you. Yeah, wild magic. The discrepancy doesn't make any sense. Yeah, except if he's a barbarian and like we don't take the cipher class, he still has that. Still has those powers. It's still who he is. It's just not how he acts in combat. The same way that if we made we made our friend Adair a swashbuckler, a fighter rogue, but like he's not actually going to refer to stealing things. It's just not his style. Yeah, if you pick just Cypher, this is his ability tree. He starts with rank 4 Cypher spells, Wild Leech. Preview him as a barbarian. We currently don't have a barbarian at all, or a frontline fighter. These combo ones make more sense. Yeah, I dig it. Barbarian Cypher is still a wild mind, which makes a lot of sense, that's for sure. It's weird how it doesn't change his Cypher abilities to make him more combat focused. That one makes sense. Band of Foes. So I think we have one vote for Witch and one vote for Barbarian so far. I want to ask anyone else who's waiting in the wings to shout out at us if you've got an opinion. Otherwise, I'll need to tiebreak. God, I don't know about that. 2 votes for Witch. Well, that'll do it, to be honest. Barbarian Cypher. Don't worry about this red text. I'm not a new player, and we're playing in an easy enough difficulty that will make it work anyway. So, 2 votes for Witch. Let's do it. Good call, dead man. Good call, Loxy. If I was playing by myself, I would make him a... Oh shit, that button doesn't center on your ship. It makes you look at the ship's deck. I would have made him just a pure barbarian. Embark. Click this to go to the world map. Companion reputation. You see, to bring a character sheet. Select the reputation, select any character. Companion portrait. See their relationships with others. I'm like, well, what are they? Aloth is a little annoyed at us, and that's true. But we can't until they're in our party.
Agrasima casita for taking me on.
No worries. The sea's no piece of glass, but I sailed far worse. Hey, Serafin.
Ahoy, Captain. Truth be told, Ferrante half expect us to get our asses blown out of the water at Fort Deadlight. Fortunately for you, I have this bad habit of beating the odds.
And I want to take Serafin with us, because I did not play with him that often.
Of course, I do that by way of good old traditional chicanery. And the most important part of any hornswoggle? Solid planning. Well, that and surviving.
Fucking hornswoggle, hell yeah. Alright, what can you tell me about Fort Deadlight?
Valiant made originally. Piled them stones up a few centuries back, but gave it up when the fishmen wouldn't leave them be. Hard to defend against Wilder crawling up out of your crappers.
Oof.
Captain Aldiz claimed it a few years back. Fucking filthy from bow to stern, and she had her lads and lasses cleaning fish shit out of the floorboards for months. A couple of them thought he might be better sailing elsewhere and left in the night. Aldi's tracked them down quick as you like, took their heads, and fixed them into little lanterns for the front gate. Called them Fort Deadlight's Deadlights.
His nose twitches.
They say she ain't had a deserter since. Tad cruel for my taste. But I admit to admiring the wordplay.
It's kind of fucked, dude. Do you know anything about the fort's defenses?
Funny thing about it being a fort means it ain't a boat.
Oh.
Means it don't have to worry about the way the cannons are storing honking big balls.
Uh-oh.
Guns they got crowning that castle put a hole in your poop deck before you've sighted land.
A hole in my poop deck? Sounds like fun, to be honest. He sighs and scuffs his boot against the floor.
Fort itself be floored as ceiling rum-sodden fools, so that be going for us. But Aldi's keeps the crew on the walls sharp and sober.
It's gotta be the worst job in the fort.
One blast of their horns and deadlights locked up tight as an endearing mugger night. We'll stay that way too, till any unfamiliar ships have been shot to shit and shot again.
What do you know of Aldi's?
Yeah, she's sharp as shit, that one. Tongue, mind, and ears alike. Sailed out of Deerwood or Adir one. Knows her knots, and how to crew a ship that won't turn sour. The words ring out among the Principe. More than you'd think for new blood. Part of that's her fierce support of freedom. From slavers, from the empires, from the Juana's caste system even. The rest a lenient hand. Step out of line and Ferrante's got your old crew up for lashes. Aldis, though, she's, let's say there's a reason she attracts limp-cocked nut-twists like Benwiff. Can't say I much approve of a lack of regard for our traditions, but, can't say I don't share her vexations with Ferrante in the old garden either.
He runs a third paw over his braided beard. Why are you frustrated with the old guard?
Shit, Captain. Buy a lad a drink before you go rooting through his unmentionables.
He smiles, though. Thumbs look hooked in his belt.
Let's leave it enough for now to say I think there be a course to be charted betwixt anarchy and tyranny.
Yeah, I like the freedom too. The first time we finished a game, I absolutely sided with the Principi. No, not the Principi, the pirates. So they are the name Principi. I'll tell you about them later. Sided with. This is not something you need to think about until, like, Act 3. Don't worry, we'll talk about it. You mentioned you have contacts at the fort. Can we rely on their help?
I did say contacts, didn't I?
Serafin rubs the back of his head as he takes a sudden, studious interest in his boots.
Contacts would be more accurate, in the singular. A lass by the name of Siri. Been running the same circles for years, doldrums and fair winds. We're never family, but never on the wrong ends of arms, neither. Might have shaken the sheets a few months back.
God, Serafin's fun. His dialogue's interesting. It's fun to hear him say piratey terms. That's great. Might have shaken the sheets a few months back. Fuck yeah, love hearing that.
Regardless of how she feels about me, there's no love lost betwixt her and Benwiff. That's for damn certain.
Your contact is some random lover of yours?
Ugh, random? What do you take me for, Captain?
Scourge of hearts throughout the Deadfire.
Well, I can't say as you're entirely wrong.
He grins, all teeth. Oh, Loxy. Let's go with a plan to get into Fort Deadlight.
Deadlight's a tough coconut to crack. But if not cracking, what are nuts for?
We could sneak our way in.
Might be there's a way to sneak inside. Bet we can find a shady spot to tie up a skiff under the veil of night. Then up the walls and over, quick as you please. Sussing out a place to land without being spotted ourselves require Helia's own eyes. Or a spyglass. You've got a spyglass, I hope.
Don't you have a spyglass?
Yeah, sure. Used to. Then I made the mistake of lending it to Ferrante. Apparently forgot it weren't his.
A low growl builds beneath his grumbling.
Showed him the S I carved into it and he turned around and told me it stood for spyglass. There's an important lesson to be learned there. You take something to see, you hold grip on it real tight.
It's funny. I don't have a spyglass.
Oh, then let me recommend you remedy yourself there, Captain. A good spyglass be like a good lover. Shows you the bits you'd have missed otherwise.
That's good. We have a plan. Let's get on with it.
Aye, Captain. Looking forward to watching you work.
He rubs his palms together.
Not to be telling you your business, Cap, but if we don't set sail for Deadlight, Benwiff will finish his repairs at Port Anchor.
This is not a timed quest. You can take as long as you fucking want. It's just that you don't get too much further with Serafin until you do.
Later, sure. No hurry here to ship off back to the Gentlemen of Leisure.
His left ear twitches. I like Serafin. I didn't get much of a chance to play with him. I hope to do so this time around. We gotta rotate through our characters and companions, but right now, we still have not enough to fill out a full party yet, so we're okay. I haven't even met my favorite character yet. Gilad, what a fine day. You've got a broken leg. Could still be nice, I guess. What new shores are we setting sail for today? No, I can't talk to Eld Engram, I'm afraid. Fragments of Whispers of Yenwood. Despite being utterly destroyed with the devastation of Cadnua, the sword known as the Whispers of Yenwood once again found its way into possession of the keep's road warden, albeit in pieces. It take a smith of some talent to reforge a weapon with the right materials, however, perhaps the sword could become an even greater than it once was.
I got this.
Letter from Ophrah. Slam Shadows. I hope this letter finds you in good health. It has been many summers since you first arrived in Gilded Vale. Much has changed in these years, for both of us. I do not know if you remember me, but the day you came to my door is not one I will forget. For months afterwards I wrestled with my faith and my fear. And still the gods have blessed me with the son. He is healthy and strong and already so curious. All of Gilded Vale dotes upon him. I have told him of you. He asks constantly after the Watcher who restored his spirit and hopes one day to meet you. Until then, know that we keep you in our prayers. Your most grateful servant, Ophrah. That is Thingy's sister. From the very beginning. We told her honestly about the cure she sent us to go get would not actually save her. Her child.
Hey, look who it is.
How do you like the dead fire?
The air's different. Especially compared to Gilded Vale, where there's more livestock than shovels. Sounds different, too. You wake up to all those bird calls, it really does sound like they're making music. If the birds woke you in Gilded Vale, it was usually a couple crows making the most horrible mating noises you ever heard. Strange thing is, I still get this feeling in me, like I wish I was home.
Hey, Aloth, we left.
Thank you again for maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others.
He gives you a grateful smile that fades almost as quickly as it appears. Companion conversations. One of your companions wants to talk. Yeah, well, we're on the ship.
I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative.
Surprised he managed to hustle me that long.
We've come to an arrangement of sorts. Hey, he lets me in on the bash and I'll leave him the join. For the most part, anyhow.
He sighs.
Believe me, I take no pleasure in duplicity.
I'm not going to say too. Remind me, how do we know each other? That's mean. We know Aloth. He's our friend. What exactly were you doing out here?
After we parted, I set out to destroy the leaden key.
And Adair is like,
It's controlled us for too long. I wanted to free Kith from it.
Good job.
So for 5 years, I've been tracking down leaden key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret.
He knits his brows. You should, Loxy. It's exactly what it is doing.
Trying to undo them.
You're doing the right thing. Don't forget it. He gives you a wan smile.
The task has been more difficult than I anticipated.
How so?
I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make, or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours.
He glances at you out of the corner of his eye. Easy, sure. I led you right into the prison of the gods.
What matters is that you got us out again.
He laces his fingers together, a familiar look of anxiety working its way over his face.
After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down the Leaden Key's members and operations.
Maybe he had an address book. Too bad you burned his robes. He gives you an appreciative smile, but his mind is clearly elsewhere. Adair gives a nod and a wink.
Perhaps this would be easier with an example.
Sure. This is not a cheery example. If you're feeling sensitive tonight, This is kind of grim, is all I'm saying.
I went to a village in Old Valia. A run-down backwater of a place.
That's essentially all I remember about it too, other than it being a little grim. There's nothing wrong with saying I'm not up for this right now and returning in like 2 minutes, let's say.
Aye, right home like it was.
Aloth's expression shifts as Isilmir briefly emerges. It's massive Isilmir. A past iteration of Aloth Corpus's soul, Isilmir was a brash, hill-speaking elven woman who lived in Adir long ago. She awakened in Aloth's soul after his father attacked him and frequently got him into trouble with her cheeky comments and aggressive behavior.
Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition.
He grimaces.
At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt.
I'm not going to say there are too many idiots in the world anyway, that's not very nice. But I will say, what did you do?
The village priest administered the practice. Grim old fellow. Reminded me of Theos.
He raises an eyebrow at you.
Wicked old bunbag, 'tis what the lad means.
He was a tyrant. I was certain that if the villagers were free of his influence, they'd be free from the bloodletting too. So I arranged for him to have an accident.
He gives you a sly look. Clever.
I thought so. At first. The old man died. And the villagers were terrified. They were convinced his death was an ill omen. They blamed it, and every other mishap that befell them, on their lack of faith. So they began bloodletting every week, turning on their neighbors for giving too little.
His lips twist as if the words themselves have a bitter taste.
Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week.
He's worked the edge of his sash into a tight knot. He clenches it between pale, rigid fingers. And now you feel responsible, is that it?
I had to do something, didn't I?
He turns to you with wide, anguished eyes. He pauses again, untwisting the sash at his lap.
I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better.
The villagers had found a way to live with the ritual. In time, perhaps they would have changed it on their own.
Perhaps so. I should get some rest. It's been a long day, and you've given me a lot to think about.
Wait, you still haven't told me what the animancers have to do with any of this.
Ah, that.
He massages his temples.
I'm looking for an old Leaden Key sect. I've found several references, but...
He breaks off, shaking his head.
I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything.
We'll talk more later then. Okay, so... This is actually a really interesting and handy way to, like, when you're creating NPCs as a GM, or storyteller or whatever, I'd like you to just grab a couple of examples and keep them in your mind about what they're... Don't, like, recreate them exactly, but here's a great example of who they are and what tone they bring to conversations and what sort of quests they have. Talking to Adair, he's like, yeah, kinda miss home. It's not so great. I'm glad I'm here with you again. It should be okay soon. We'll see what we can sort out together. Talking to Aloth, he's like, yeah, here's an awful story of a thing I tried to do without your assistance. I feel really bad about it and I'm guilty. Please help me. And talking to Serafin, he's like, let's have a good time, and it's going to be fun to break into this fort. Let's do my quest at some point, and in the meantime, I'm going to flirt with you. Just, if you only have a few characters to talk to, a few NPCs on the ship, that sort of thing, like some of them can speak to you like Eldengrim, who's now no longer standing inside Arena. Like, no offense, Captain, but your gunners can't shoot for shit. Just like, quick little bits of dialogue compared to your NPCs that have much longer quests and information. Make them as different as, like, not as different as possible, but give them clear, obvious differences that can be summed up really succinctly. At least one of the third of your NPCs should be filthy flirts. Yeah, absolutely. And, like, you'll notice that when we can actually select them, because when they're not on the ship, you'll be able to like see quick little ideas on what they like and what they dislike. The excellent thing to write out in a map about your NPCs when you're designing an adventure.
Watch and learn.
Excellent. We can also talk to the steward.
Right here.
We're supposed to be
right there.
supposed to be able to talk to the steward. It's weird that we can't right now. Anyway, ship UI. I'm not going to read out the whole tutorial because it's 7 pages long. But you can upgrade the helm, the hull, the sails. You can change the colors of what you're wearing. Figure out what food you're feeding the ship and crew members on it. No longer flying Deerwood colors, but we're flying the Obsidian colors of the Obsidian Order. But honestly, I like the Deerwood colors more. You can change multiple ships when you upgrade the ship and its name. It shows you who's injured and how long for. And they have spaces for spare resting crew, so you can do that. So the ship will repair faster. You'll notice that Rum Dum Brigade is a seasoned deckhand compared to our novices that we have. Eldem Grib, a novice cannoneer, is our only cannoneer at this point. Beardil is the helmsman. And Chipatek is the novice deckhand. Rum Dum. We've also got particular stats, like he is a drunkard, which makes him happy when you have alcoholic beer. Now we deliberately got more stuff on the island. Rum gives 3 morale. Hardtack, every time they eat, lowers their morale by a little bit. Start running out of food, they actually get pretty pissed at you. Yeah. Their resources are 68. I swap. Oh, damn it. Well, we undid our negative from our loss. Oh, good. Well, probably because we supported him at least a little bit. We're supposed to. Because he's our friend. We like him. We don't have an incredible amount of food or water. We definitely need Irena to rest. Chitupek. Chitupek. There you go. We don't have any spare, like, equipment to replace here yet, but we will at some point. Right. Let's go back to the ship. Shouldn't have to load too long, I think. Feeding the fruit for hagfish should drop the morale severely. It's like okra. Can be good. So, day passed. We drank 5 ale. Daily wages. We used some medicine. But have an opportunity to go to a shipwreck. You stumble upon an ancient shipwreck. Its sails hang from the main mast like cobwebs, shredded by cannon fire and vicious winds. The ship's hull is cracked and bow. But there may still be something inside worth salvaging. Let's do that. Having it aboard is a debuff of its own. Oh, terrible. Takes some time. 3 hours pass. You find a barrel still filled with drink. Barrel of milk? Amazing! That won't be off at all. Continue searching the ship. Nothing of value. Palmstone. Lovely. Box full of rations. Oh, some rice wine. That's good too. Some water. Some lager. Search the ship top to bottom. That's good. And now we get that again. Because seriously, you use it that fast. You can't sit around and do nothing. Yeah. Can't believe it took me multiple attempts to make that happen. It is good to, like, stock up with as much as possible, but, like, they will get pretty shitty if you don't feed them. cup of tea gives 5 morale. That'll do. You can also have, on larger ships, you can have more medicine. Not actually sure why it used that much medicine right away. Ah, look, Irena can now work again. So, she's a decent cook and a decent deckhand. Decent surgeon and cannoneer. Deckhand and cannoneer. So we can do this. Now we got 2 cannoneers, but no one working as a cook. Port Mahe, can we supply? Got any sailors for me to hire? Yes, in fact, so many of them are free. One of them, rowdy, seasoned cook. Well, we need one of those. Let's actually spend 300 and get that. Oh, yes, please. And the rest of them, surgeon? Yes, please. Now let's check the rest of the ship. Yep. Surgeon, cook, navigator. See, but you're not actually a good navigator. You just filled a slot. You're a helmsman and a cannoneer. You're a deckhand and cannoneer, surgeon and cannoneer, deckhand and cook. Only a deckhand. Well, like, I guess you're gonna get better at being helmsman or boatswain. We don't have a spot for a boatswain just yet. Anyway, we don't need any resting crew. So our navigator is unskilled. But there we are. We've got a full ship now. We don't need to keep any resting crew on hand because I don't intend to get injured anytime soon. And now we have the wide open map. Look as it yawns ahead. There's Nekataka, so they pointed out to us where we'll go. There's Harbinger's Watch, that DLC location. There's Fort Deadlight if we want to go all the way over there. There's Dunnage, the other spot, but look how fucking big it is! By God, here it is. It's pointing out to us, and the game itself was like, I hope you have a good time. Because a lot... Merrill the Mad? What is that? Can we have a place to land here? Can we explore this location? Why, yes, my friend, there is. We land. We pick up some fresh fruit, which is fantastic because we use it on the ship. We pick up some extra water. Make a quick save and go talk to Merrill the Mad. What is going on here? This is a very big part of Pillars 2, right? Not just because it's huge, but you gotta love this part. The wide open map sitting in front of you. It's saying, okay, well, here it is. I hope you have a good time exploring. Captain. I hope you enjoy getting on a ship, setting it up as best you can, and sailing out to find something interesting. Sorry, excuse me. Find something interesting, land your ship, pick up some more stuff, investigate, come back on. Because so much of the game is that. It's going to be that experience of searching for something interesting to find and going ahead and figuring it out. Whew, so, Serafin currently uses a hand mortar and a battle axe. And that's pretty fucking cool. We have a battle axe upgrade, so let's give him a slightly better weapon. They're both close range. You know, as his other weapon set, he has 2 pistols. Fine leather armor, which is not as good as Serafin's padded mail, which is what he's currently wearing. We can give him a little extra health. And that's honestly it. So let's investigate. His abilities, barbarian abilities, he starts with Frenzy. What's a Revenant up there? And he's got some Cypher abilities.
What for? Done and done.
I'll take a peek.
Oh, think I can't see you, you sneaky bastard.
Merrill the Mad with a rusted copper construct. Alright, let's take our weird little party and let's have a little fun. Okay. Failure affects Ella with a friend. Good. Please stay back. Holy shit. Aloth, buddy. Bounding missiles for that right away. I don't know how tough this is, so I'm spending a little bit of extra time just to make sure it's not going to go too poorly. She starts with 4 phrases. That's kind of nuts. Can't cast that just yet. Valorous echoes on Adair. Serafin, I'd like you to start with a frenzy.
Me too. I'll be chopping you to chunks. You too.
Yes?
I like how Slam aims, fires, changes angle, fires again. Very good. Bounding missiles goes off. Excellent. Good job, Aloth. Now we don't need a bounding. Let's deal a single bit of damage. Very good. Good job, Serafin. Now we got 4 of us. We feel even more powerful. 1 intellect and a power surge. Oh my.
I got this.
Yes?
Aloth, what you using? Ah, the Keybreak accepted. No, that's probably much better than just a random thing we picked up. Also, Meryl the Mad's Head. Probably a bounty that we will pick up at some point, right? Why is this rot? Oh, because this scepter's one-handed. Same recovery time. Anyway. Still good.
Aye.
Of course.
Don't want to leave just yet. Let's explore the rest of this area. It is nice to, it's sincerely nice to have 4 party members again. I'm hoping we'll get a 5th before too long. In Nekataka, as far as I remember. She's really interesting. I like her a lot. It is a shame we don't have her now. We'll find her soon. Between failed settlements and discarded Hawana's villages, the Defiant Islands are spotted with promising ruins. Where you expect to find a small Hawana village is instead a pile of rubble. Several large pits run down the middle. As you near, you realize the pits are in fact the footprints of a kith who must be as tall as a mountain. There might be something in the wreckage worth salvaging yet. Search. Tarloaf. Ah, that's good. Morale? More Tarloaf. Nothing else worth taking. Yes, thank you, Deadman. You're totally right. Get back on the ship. See navigation. Click on the known locations drop down list to just automatically travel there. And, like, that's nice that it gives you an option to just to do that. Well, let's put the mercberries back. Stack some more food and water. Maybe move the water back a little bit. So, before things get dire and we start losing morale for only giving our shipmates water. And, like, that's that. That's the loop for the exploration section of Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. And holy shit is it satisfying to feel this map open up around you. As you explore the whole area. Just land in places. Pick up a little fruit and water. Get back on the ship. Continue sailing. Sid Meier's Pillars of Eternity. Not quite. So, we'll search this location and we'll have a break. Palm stone. Nothing else. Alright. Well, it is break time. We take 10 minutes to have a break and then we return. So I will see you in 10 minutes, likely at 8:31. Sorry, 8:41. Quick save and break time. Remember to have a stretch and treat yourself kindly. Whatever you want to make your evening better, I do it, okay? Now, time to pause the sound. Ah, my friends, I've returned. I'm glad you're here with me. Before we go too much longer, I just want to hold up this lovely drink I've made. What is it? It's 15 ml of Pathé Amore and 45 ml of Canberra Fog. So it's an aniseedy and sweet and floral drink. It's fucking incredible. I thought about it earlier today. I'm like, what would this be nice? Well, yes, it would. I intend to make that for other people as often as I can, to be honest. There are some very lovely people I like to show off to, and if I drink all of the Canberra Fog or the Parfait Amore before I see them again, I promise I'll get more for them. You know who you are. Let's zoom out and pick up some flotsam and jetsam. You actually have to click it, you can't just sail over it. Repair supplies. Oof, good. Though our ship has 20 and 50. I know, we're drinking our milk now. Lager, rum, milk. So our morale is 78 of 100. We have 10% bonus experience because we're keeping our crew happy. The Huaro. We found something interesting on the map. Let's go investigate it. You're sailing past a reef when Arena shouts out, pointing to port. It lists a ship stranded in the middle, perched on a narrow shoal. It tips and rolls with the passing waves. Hanging from the mast is a blue flag showing an image of a crescent moon sinking beneath the waves. Your crew gathers around, murmuring in low, excited voices. Ikiuk rushes to the railing. Captain, that's a gift-bearer ship. No telling what sort of treasures it's got. Eld Engram snorts. Gift-bearers carry sentimental junk, worthless stuff. Nah, it's a smuggler ship. It's a classic disguise. Rumdum Regere spits into the water. Then it's a fucking stupid one. Gift-bearers only visit landlocked settlements. That's a trap. Hey everyone, what do we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 1. Prepare a skiff. We'll have to row out and climb the hull. 2. What was that about the gift bearers, Eld Engram? 3. Thoughts, which is essentially ask your companions. And 4. Ready the guns. The cannoneers near the practice. And 5. Continue on our course. I'm going to assume Deadman's going to vote for 5, which is just sail on through, but I don't want to do that. We should do something when we find something interesting, right? We'll follow through. This is a fucking great drink. But if you don't get any votes in the meantime, I'm going to press... What was that about gift bearers, Eld Engram? Eld Engram fixes a pensive frown on the wreck. No offense, Captain, but the servants of Undra collect things that people want to forget and consign them to the sea. Anything gift bearers might be carrying would be stuff nobody wants. Alright, thoughts? You wonder what you think, but only you can answer that. Thoughts? A trap, Captain. Ship be too smashed to shit for that. Might be too smashed to shit for salvage, too. Serafin scratches the back of his head as he peers at the vessel. Aloth rubs his chin. I've heard rumour that some gift-bearers operate as smugglers on the side. I suppose it's possible they're carrying something of value. Adair? With a shake of the head, Adair frowns and says nothing. Well, no one's told us one way or another, except Serafin. He's got the most experience, so it's probably not a trap. Let's give it a go. Let's row out and climb the hull. You row the skiff above the reefs, the waves tossing it, the bottom of the small boat occasionally scraping across a jagged structure below. You tie off on a snag of coral next to the wreck. The water is rough and the hull slick with brine, but you're able to find perches between the shifting planks. Climb up. You pull yourself up using bent planks and barnacles for holds. You've almost reached the main deck when a wave slams against the ship. You hear a crash from somewhere below as the vessel rocks. Your legs slip out from under you and your fingers dig into wet lumber. Your grip holds. How? 0, but 4 from party assist. Hold the ship for more information. There, Serafin. And Adair helped. Once the ship settles, you resume your climb and make it into the safety of the deck. The ship is deserted. You don't even find corpses. If the ship had a skiff, it's missing too. We'll search for salvage. We're here. Find several crates of supplies and several more of assorted odds and ends. Handkerchiefs, bead jewelry, cracked scrimshaw, child's doll. Ammunition, medicine. You think back to Elder and Grimm's comments and wonder if this might have been a smuggler's vessel after all. Now we're using streetwise and perception. Search for evidence of smugglers. Well. With Serafin doesn't have a higher streetwise, that's for sure. But Adair finds something for me. Adair glances around before sliding a crate of junk aside, finds a trapdoor underneath. Within rests a small chest brimming with golden skellings. 23, but they're worth 12 each. Not bad. Adair whistles. Smugglers after all. Among the coins rests a small figurine of an imp of all things. You've gained an item laughing imp cameo. Summons a bride imp. Load your find to the skiff and row back to your ship. You get 99 experience. Yay! What a cool little adventure. You can still use more medicine, more repair, more ammo. But it's good. Game paused.
The ring of a bell comes to you on a cold wind.
What's this?
The ring comes again and again, until soon the air is full with the sound of 1,000 bells ringing all at once. You are alone. And then, you are not.
Yes. I love these sequences. It is a shame that they are voiced. I think they're voiced like with every character, so I don't have much to do. But I want you to sink in and just enjoy. You'll notice that this is very similar to my profile banner image because they inspired me a lot with a lot of my writing and world building. And just I love it so much. It's the main reason I'm streaming.
An indistinct figure stands before you, flickering between forms like a fire-cast shadow. A fixed, taunting grin. Bottomless black eyes. A yawning chasm in the earth. The aspects of Berith, the Usher and the Pallid Knight, shift in and out of focus. And at their back, 4 indistinct shades hover. You feel an eternity stretch out behind each of them, reaching back to places so distant and yet so near you cannot comprehend their size. The shifting image of Berith settles on the aspect of the Pallid Knight.
Watcher.
Her voice is the discordant clangor of gongs struck out of time.
I tasked you to discover Aethys's intentions. Tell me what you have learned.
He's stomping around the dead fire, yanking up souls like a giant Adra soul magnet.
The Pallid Knight knits her brows.
He does not seek to return to the beyond? Intriguing.
Her sickly pale skin pulls tight across the bones of her face, as if the shell of this aspect does not quite fit the impossible creature it contains. The figure nearest Berith dissolves and reforms in the image of a thin-lipped ancient crone, whose face has felt the melting kiss of fire.
Hello.
The goddess Wodica strides forward.
Does Aethys frighten you, Berith? He should. Magran subdued Aethys's influence once before, and yet he returned.
From out of Wodica's shadow shuffles a hunched, bald man you recognize as the god Scan. His skin is mapped with swollen lash scars, and breath whistles through the ragged hole in his face, where his nose once was. He does not speak, but stares up at Wodica, with naked loathing plain on his ruined face. Wodica steeples her long, knob-jointed fingers.
We must annihilate Aethys now, before he makes a rash decision we cannot easily annul.
She casts a sly look at the Pallid Knight from the corners of her eyes.
A moon would do the job nicely.
You would destroy Aora for what? Spite?
Wodica stares at you down her long nose.
I would destroy it all in the blink of your wide eye if I believed it would benefit me. Empires can be rebuilt. Souls can be reforged. Do not forget it.
The figure beside the aspect of Berith flows forward in a swirling cloud of ash. The ash falls to the tiles and reveals a molten-skinned woman, leaning on a monstrous, wicked-edged broadsword. Magren's glowing lips curl in disdain.
We must find a solution to the problem of Aethys that is neither do nothing, nor destroy the world.
Good call, Magren. You seem surprisingly rational.
I acted in haste during the Saints' War. You will not goad me into doing the same now.
Interesting indeed. You acted in haste when you assisted blowing up Aethys?
To move against him while his plans are unknown would be the height of foolishness. We must find wisdom in precaution.
What kind of precautions do you suggest?
Magren looks at you as one might a wayward gob of spit on one's shoe.
That seems more likely.
It is no business of yours what the gods decide.
Eat shit, Magren.
Another of the silent figures steps forward, and the warm, golden light of a summer's afternoon spills across your face.
Do you think Helia owes us something? Do you think she believes our debt is well and truly paid by the boon she gave us?
Let's all take a deep, calming breath. Perhaps cooler heads will prevail.
Behind Helia's words, you hear the soft coo of doves.
Aethys has been separated from us for too long. Isn't it possible he intends only to gather enough souls to reclaim his realm in the beyond? He should be welcomed.
Helia wants Aethys back in the beyond?
You look up then into avian eyes. Through them, you see clouds of starlings converge and divide.
Loxy's got a good point. What are we doing here then, right? Very good point. I'm not answering that question. If we have the opportunity to ask the divinities, we will. What if he intends to betray you?
Helia puts a feathered hand to her chest.
He wouldn't. Betrayal is not in his nature.
Sure.
Scan shuffles forward.
Yes, yes. We should welcome Aethys' return to the fold. His gratitude we can leverage to cajole him into divulging his plot. Then, when he believes himself to be in our good graces, we do as Wedeka suggests, and crush him into the earth.
Scan pauses, inspecting you.
Because of something we did in Pillars of Eternity 1.
Ah, and here is the Watcher who killed Lord Harren. The man who tormented his dear niece, Alice.
Yeah.
Curious.
Yes, Gabe. We're not known for not doing things. Slam Shadows is a man of action.
Scan licks the ragged edge of his lipless mouth and grins, then turns to Helia.
I did not expect such a deliciously ruthless idea from you, Helia. I am impressed.
Stop sowing discord for the sake of it. That's not what she said.
Helia's feathered crest stands on end.
You wretched little creature.
He's too dangerous. You have to destroy him.
His vessel may be destroyed, little Watcher. But Aethys is more than the vessel that holds him. He will always return, however we strike him down.
Alright, Magrin, then what's the point of this exercise?
The pallid knight gestures for silence.
Aethys cannot be killed, but he may be subdued. Yet to do so will take immense power and time. Both stand in his favor.
Yep.
Magren grits her black glass teeth.
That is why we must ascertain his plans before he has the chance to put them into motion.
She begins to pace. Her steps leave little trails of fire in her wake. Magren stops and balls her hands into flaming fists.
Even if we manage to destroy his current form, there is the possibility he could return, if he has not already absorbed all of his children.
Absorbed his children? I don't understand.
The pallid knight casts a cold, cutting glare in Magren's direction.
Ooh, what did you just give out, Magren?
Magren speaks too freely. That knowledge is beyond your ken, Watcher.
Ooh. Bereth, spill the fucking beans.
Wodika waves the gods to silence.
Aethys gathers strength. His strength is a threat to us.
Her voice takes on a sharp, almost panicked edge.
There is no sensible answer to the question of a resurgent Aethys other than decisive, final action.
Something must be done.
Your opinion is unasked for and unnecessary, but noted nonetheless.
So good.
Though her tone is impassive, the banked fury in her eyes says well enough what she thinks of your interruptions.
Why do you think the game gave us so many options to say nothing?
We will act when it is appropriate to do so, and not before.
The Pallid Knight steps away from the half-circle of assembled gods. She pulls herself up to a great height. The words she speaks next come not from her mouth, but from all around you.
Follow him, Watcher.
The black of the Pallid Knight's irises expand until her eyes are as dark and cold as the void between stars. She bends down and brings her ghostly face level with your own.
Your debt to me remains unpaid.
Hey chat, what do you want to vote for? 1, this is bullshit. 2, I'll do what I can. 3, I only do this because I must. And 4, we'll see about that. And 5, say nothing. Good vote, Larksy, very good. I'll give it a few more seconds to see if anyone else has an opinion. This is Feora, not for you, Bereth. Ooh, very good, Luxie. That's exactly how I feel Slam feels about this. Remember, we figured out what it was like to, say, return ourselves to the wheel, become a cat. It didn't work for us. Maybe I'm a bit shallow, but this is kind of how I like divinities to be. Separate, hard to understand, and arrogant. It's just the best way, and even when they're carrying like Hylia, still arrogant, and got their own plans and beneath you. Because to me, that's just how they'll work. There's a separation and a difference. There's got to be something different between a divinity and a mortal in some way. And a lot of times it's power, and I don't think power is as interesting as ineffability. Exactly. They've got to be separate and hard to understand, and perhaps not arrogant at all times, but like they've got their own plans and designs that you can't interfere with, or they won't let you, or they're dismissive of you because they've seen countless mortals pass to and from. And that's also why I treasure these interruptions over and over and over, right? We're given the opportunity to do this. We're making them angry, but in the end, they're still going to get through their monologue. This is a really hard line to manage when you're perspective incomprehensible to each other, especially to each other as well. Like, these divinities embody concepts, which is a really good way of doing it, and it's very, very common. Those concepts should be in opposition. In opposition nearly at all times. Like, Skaen is supposed to be the dutiful servant that wants to bring down the leader. So, a lot of the time, Skaen is assisting Wartica and then also trying to tear down her, like, plans. That's cool shit. Love that that exists. That's fantastic. Oh, very good indeed. But I also... It's a really hard line to cross when your players are interacting with divinities, right? Because we've had particular points where we're saying things and being disrespectful and being reprimanded for it. Your players, when they do that, will interrupt every single line. You won't get a monologue as much as you'd like to, and as much as it might actually help the scene. I don't know how to toe that line. I wish I had advice for you on that one. Other than say, perhaps, out of character, guys, give me a second. Like, I lean towards this as a good example of what to do. Like, have your say. Your characters have responses and opinions, but also let your NPCs and your GM and your storyteller, like, get through their dialogue. Because it's been pre-written or pre-planned for a reason, hopefully. I only do this because I must.
She stares at you, unblinking. Like a needle drawn to a magnet. You are pulled toward her one compulsory step at a time. You blink open your eyes and find yourself on the floor of your ship's cabin. Alone.
I'm not sorry we had to listen to bells clanging the whole time. Slam did, so do we. And like it's annoying for a bit of time, then you just let it happen and it becomes meditative.
Give me a real challenge.
Still can't talk to Stewart. That's interesting because she's supposed to be an interactable NPC. You can ask her about the status of the ship and what she's been up to and how she feels about not being connected to Cadnura anymore. Because that's a big change for her. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's a merchant ship. You're in pursuit. What would you like to do? Now, a quick save before we just started this. So I love this. Board, naval combat, intimidate, parlay, and leave. So let's start with parlay, right? Okay, well, what do you want to buy from them? Oh, Mariner's Porridge is pretty good. 5 morale, but it's 300 per thing. That's pretty expensive. Maybe let's not just get. Let's take a look through. Refill ship supplies. Ooh, it's going to cost a lot. At least we can sell some junk, right? We'll keep the Brine Imp figurine, but like a fine hood. Stone of Power is pretty good. Let's keep that. Sell ourselves just some junk, right? Non-magical items. Traditional strategy from Pillars 1 where we just sell all of our non-fine gear and accept that it'll be okay. If we are running low on something, we'll have to figure it out, but we should be fine. It makes sense. We can't sell any food anymore. We need all the food. We would never sell our pets, even if they are worth a little bit. There you go. We'll give them 229 and make sure we're full up on repair, cannon shot, medicinal supplies. Pretty good. So that's how that should go. But also, quick save, what if we want to be a pirate? Woo, pirate time. Now this is the naval combat interface. It's not as dramatic and exciting as you may imagine. What I like to call it, an excellent example, is Blitzball in Final Fantasy X. The game opens with a cinematic on how cool Blitzball can look. Like, oh, sports stars swimming underwater for hours at a time, kicking balls around, doing neat flips and shit to a really high-octane metal soundtrack. Very cool. Jump into it, it's a lot more like Football Manager than anything else. Less exciting, but still enjoyable at times. So here we have what naval combat looks like. It's got its own interface, and we'll talk you through it. The Defiant, the dear wooden sloop. With some quick maneuvering, the Defiant secures the wind gauge before the merchant vessel has had a chance to come about and claim it for themselves. Choose the course of action. Okay, we're 400 meters away, we're head on to one another. We've got full resources. They've got 3 crew in reserve, but they've only got 5 people manning the ship at the moment. We've got less hull, less sail health. We should be okay. If we move full speed ahead, we get 70. We go half sail, we get 45. I don't know what our range on our cannons are, so let's go full speed ahead. The wind at your back grows, howling in your ears. The ship crashes through the waves as the wind drives it forward. Distance closed by 7 meters. Enemy crew scurry to their stations in preparation for maneuvers. The opposing captain swings the merchant vessel to starboard. Now you can see that they are broadsiding us. Now, or we can turn in either direction, face them with a particular side. Hey, welcome back, comrade. So we can hold position, like, stop, and see what they do, but I think they might be in range. So let's turn. Helmsman spins the wheel to port as the crew trim the sails. Now we're facing the same direction. Enemy crews go to their stations. Come to an abrupt stop. They've lost the wind. Fire to starboard cannons. Now, cannonball. We've got multiple opportunities of what sort of thing are we firing at them. Cannonballs nearly always hit the enemy ship's hull and have a low chance of dealing sail damage or below deck crew damage. Chain shot targets the enemy's sails. And grape shot, low chance of dealing sail damage but deals a lot of damage to their people. We've got a 55% chance of hitting. We can say reduce, like, don't make him hit. Sorry, don't fire with these cannons, we'll be okay. Also notice we don't have cannons on the other side, so we essentially always have to fire. We'll be facing them with their to our right. Their ideal range is in 150 to 400. We are in that, so this is their ideal range. We should go for it. Fire. As the ship crests over the peak of a wave, your cannoneers fire a deafening volley at the opposing ship. Eldengrim and Chitupek fire. Miss, but 5 damage on the other. We're doing the worst part of this game. Comrade. Yeah. I don't hate it. I actually think it's engaging and pretty enjoyable, but I don't think we'll be doing a lot of it on stream because it's not super exciting. You'll notice a lot of this text is reused over and over and over. The opposing vessel maneuvers to bear down on you, aiming its artillery squarely at the Defiant. The distant thunder of cannon fire echoes across the sea. Hit! Oh, we took 4 damage to the hull. Oh no! Secures the wind gauge before they have a chance. Come on. Anyway, so like, it takes 2 more turns until we've finished reloading. Six! Oh, did I say 4? Fuck. Whoops. I'm like, alright, stand still because we're in perfect range and we're just going to fire at each other. They turn slightly, which is going to make them harder to hit when we get a turn. Let's see if they try and run away. So we've got a 70% chance to hit. Let's... Low chance of dealing sail damage, but we can... Let's deal with those sails. Their sails are damaged. They can no longer move. Your ship is faster and your crew better prepared. You secure the wind gauge before they can. Like, but honestly, I have... Oh, they're firing. 4 damage, and we've got another crew injured below deck. Which is a shame. You also lose morale whenever a crew member is injured. Like, I have no other strategy other than, like, fire. Oh no, Eldengrim is actually injured. He's got charred skin, so we're only firing 1 cannon at a time now. I could board them? Yeah, I think I might actually. Yeah. We're no longer going to win a charge. We're no longer going to win like a firing opportunity like that. So instead, we're going to go full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Actually, can we charge? In the order. It will expose them to raking fire. It'll take some hull damage and some sail, but we'll be fine. Do it. Your ship chews through the water, barreling down the back of the waves and surging up the face. Sea spray drenches the main deck. With a deafening crunch, the Defiant and merchant vessel collide, sending shards of wood and enemy sailors flying. With a rousing cry, your crew throw grappling hooks and boarding planks across the gap between the 2 ships. They stream onto the ship's deck, weapons at the ready. The stunned enemy crew rally and meet your sailors with a resounding boom of gunfire and the clang of steel on steel. But we're not done yet. Thank you, comrade. You're right. I should just charge and board them. Avast, lass. Prepare to be boarded. Alright, well there are quite a few of them there. Only a few of us. There's also Vela on deck, and that could be bad.
teach you a lesson.
Lackey, sailors, Defiant merchant. And now, like, we have essentially committed, hey, let's be pirates. Because we just found a random merchant ship and said, fuck it, let's go for him. Raging already, excellent choice. Aloth, I'd actually like you to cast... Hostile status effects. Yeah, shock damage. Enemies. And slam, yeah, you've got one of these. Cast an empowered version of that and zap as many as you can. Very good indeed. Slam, thank you. Whisper of treason. Slam is on low health now. Should be able to also... Charmed on him, that's pretty good, but we'll also get a full... Yeah. Got him. Enemy defeated, morale gained. Bell Engram suffers some charred skin, but however, we've got some experience. And Slam Shadow's gained a rank. Look at all this loot we got! Including 92 obsidian flake, lots of coins, lots of medicine, all supplies. Very good indeed. Share coins with crew to increase their morale a lot. 9 morale. Still got a few. No, never mind. Take all the other stuff, continue. We don't have any more space for these, so let's just go. It's fine. It's just a little bit of random piracy. You can also say, just take me to Nekataga. I don't really want to explore everywhere. And it will let you. So random trading wasn't a Valiant trading one, so I haven't lost any rep. Okay, so like, why do that is a decent question. And I think my only appropriate answer is, why not? So much of the game exists to like go through that process and like have fun, have a bit of loot. Poor Eld Engram. You're our cannoneer now. We have no navigator. Why not? Because it's unfun and pointless. Ah, yeah, I guess. I do enjoy, like, actually going through some of the challenging ships. The desert wind carries a sibilant susurrus to your ears from the canyon ahead, punctuated by cracks and pops. It reminds you of eggs on a hot pan or a fire in a dry brush. A low growl that accompanies it, however, raises the hair on the back of your neck. Ooh, let's listen carefully. Slam, what do you perceive? The sound resolves into a rhythmic chittering, slowly and cyclically rising and falling. It sounds like a chorus of voices, inhuman voices. Search for the presence of other minds. Choose a cipher. Oh, Slam. You reach out with your soul, searching out any thoughts behind this hissing sound. Soon enough you sense the thoughts of several small creatures. Most are small and simple, but one feels significantly more potent than the other. Whatever it is, it hungers. Let's continue cautiously forward. You carefully enter the desert canyon, keeping to the shade cast by the tall, standing stones. Ahead of you, a group of shoreups chant, hopping back and forth on skinny legs, shaking their spears. Nested between them rises the black, leathery form of a drake. The creature's wings rise above it as it tears at the corpse of a boar at its feet. Well, let's watch. With a mighty twist of its muscular neck, the drake tears the boar in half and rises up on its legs, lifting its head and swallows the back half of the boar whole. The lump of the animal visibly travels down the reptile's throat. One of the shoreups hops forward, tears its feathered headdress from its head and tosses it aside. It drops its staff a moment later and spreads its arms before the drake. The large beast peers down at the shoreup and then, with a flash of movement, eats the small wilder in a single bite. The other shoreups cheer, banging their spears against their shields. Well, let's sneak closer then. And move quietly from stone to stone, entering the canyon without drawing the creature's attention. Jeez. Poor shoreup, right?
Think I can't see you, you sneaky bastard.
Oh?
Get him!
No mercy!
Shaken and confused the young drake. Actually, if they're not aggro, let's not fight them. Wait, is the short priest casting something? I don't know. We are engaged. Please get in there. Yeah, there it is. Aleph, I'm sorry. I led you astray. I was like, you just go deal with him. Run up. You'll be fine.
Not to alarm you, but I'm slowly
Frog in the figurehead. Futile.
Fireball off. Come on, Aleph. That didn't hurt him that much.
Show him how it's done.
Oof. The dad's on low health. Yeah, I'm trying to do this without a priest or a healer of any sort. Yeah, do your Zakagawa. Drake's down, that's pretty good. We should be able to use our burst on the corpse now. Doesn't damage our allies, so we can just... Adair now has reduced healing, but it should be okay.
Right on target. What for, Cap?
Interesting enough, we didn't get the worm summoned as promised by the ability. No. Looks like I think we'll make it through. Come on.
I'll teach you a lesson. Better than that.
That looks like it hurt.
That was close. Adair is injured as well.
Leave it to me.
Notice he's got 1 of 3. He has a gaping wound. If he gets 3 injuries, he dies.
They'll never know I'm here.
We don't want him to die. We like him. Got ourselves some experience of fighting. Oof. Minor threat. It's a special weapon Slam Shadows is using, I believe. Killing a drake this early is pretty exciting too. Man, I think an additional Zorot Priest, if there were 2 of them, we would have been way worse off. Good thing we let one of them get eaten. Very important. Slam Shadows was using the minor threat. So, maybe. We can camp and get our people to use food to get a bonus. Extra perception. Extra dexterity. Honestly, I'm gonna give Adair some pork. You can eat the pork. It's one of the exact same videos from Pillars 1. Injured crew. Healing. 7 days left. Oof. Oh, Delgin. Good thing we're not doing anything important on the high sea. Oh boy. Bones crunch underfoot. Strewn across the sand are skeletons half buried in wind-blown dunes or lying bleached and baking in the sun. The corpses still wear the tattered remnants of their clothing, their packs tangled in their limbs. Worms circle like vultures high above you. The sand is strangely lively here. It dances as if caught in a breeze, but there is no wind to stir it. Several piles of grit rise above the dunes in suspiciously orderly mounds. Are we walking in single file? Are we walking without rhythm? God, we better use a ranged weapon to test the Sandmoan's reaction. The mound of sand whips itself into a small storm. It rages across the dunes, and its outburst awakens the mound of sand beside it. Together they rise from the desert as a swirling cloud and bear down upon you en masse. I want a polka dot. Aloth, honestly, is on my list higher. Oh, buddy, you just need a hug. Look how Aloth opens by casting a defensive spell. He's like, please don't hurt me.
This meat. Just have to try something else.
Wish there was a greater range on our lightning ability. Thrice she was wronged, and thrice she was avenged. Possibly. Now we can move something a little bit closer. Get out. Zappion!
Absolutely.
I love the sad mages. It's my thing.
Hey, whose side are you on?
Aloth, why did you cast Fireball on a single opponent? Adair is right to be disappointed in you. Why did you do that? It's very silly indeed. Still a threesome if one of the people is simply living inside the other. That counts. There isn't sad. He's kind of sad. He's currently homesick and he's been through a lot. Like,
thanks for letting me tag along. The dead fire is awfully big for this little Orlan.
yeah, I know. Like, in the end, I'd honestly call both of them sad, just in different ways. Grants us lay on hands. Yes, please. Restore a small amount of health. Ah, not terrible. Currently wearing something. Here you go. Of intellect and power surge. Yeah, but that's intellect, history, and insight. You need the hit points. You're a barbarian.
Right here, sure.
Definitely here for a 2.5 some. Really? But the alternate personality is not an alter in the traditional sense of, like, will take over from the other. They're both present, you know? This fragment of a fallen keep stands like a monument to ruin and a beacon for plunder. The remains of a tower lie strewn upon the ground before you. The stone structure seems to have tumbled over during an earthquake. The tower appears abandoned. Not even a corpse remained. Search. Garnet. Jade. Golden obol. Scroll of thrust of tattered veils. Potion of elemental defense. Love looting. Looting is great. Caverns of Shore Tuk Tuk. You come upon the opening to a small cave. Putrid gusts of hot air burp from deep within, and you hear the faint chitter and hiss of shorebs in earnest conversation. Enter the cave. Your boots crunch through the drift of brittle bones as you creep into the shoreb lair. You think the Aloth and his passenger, Isilmir, have ever had mind sect? I don't know. I feel like they don't like each other enough. I definitely would. That looks like Serafin. Yeah. Adair doesn't like Serafin. See? Pride, pride, pride. Serafin is like, I have no opinion, you're fine. Serafin is a passionate person. He's worldly. He doesn't like racism. Good! Fuck. Anti-Punjabi. Okay. He supports the pirates of the Punjabi Sanpachana and dislikes those who act against them. So he dislikes anti-Punjabi. Likes skullduggery and is lighthearted. Well, you get along well without Adair then at some point, right? You're good with the children of Dawnstars. You're good with Port Marge, Valiant Trading Company. Well, partially. Getting your reputation for clever and benevolent. Pretty good. The first thing you thought of.
Trouble up ahead.
Well, I mean it should be. It's a very sexy idea. Sigil of Atrophy. Wordstone. Effects. Immune to Sigil of Atrophy attacks. Area of effect. So you cast those on yourself to get a buff against a particular enemy, a particular ability that some wardstones have. We are gonna ambush the fuck out of you, buddy.
Sorry, friend. Can't.
Slam, why are you standing at the front?
Ahoy.
Gotcha. Enemies to lovers every day fighting with my brain. Oh.
Ahoy.
That's pretty funny.
Done and done.
Like,
foes ahead.
Okay, so what are we doing here?
Yes?
What's this? War Chief? Lesser Flame Blight? An explosive barrel? Oh my god, is it a empowered version of a fireball cast to just hit them? Cause... Yes! No, Aloth, run! Don't run directly into our trap. Immediately cast Whisper of Treason.
How may I help?
Me too.
Charmed went off. That's so good. Okay, I got no more casts, so definitely get that off.
Exactly what I was going for.
Whoop, Vela's on very low health. Okay. So it turns out the enemies just straight up targeted Vela and we died. Whoops.
Hey there. I'll see what I can find.
The writing question is supposed to be like, would you fight or fuck your clone? And the fight one always seemed like a less convincing argument because a lot of the time it was like, you'll never really know how strong you are. Because there's never better a time to understand how strong you are at fighting your own clone. I did just get Vela the child killed, yes. And that went wrong. It's not how we want fights to go. We want fights to go like this.
No rush, but if you have any antidotes handy,
I'd be much obliged.
I dare you're not that poisoned. Hey. Calm down.
Easy does it.
We're not alone.
I still think our earlier tactic was quite successful. And I have no reason to doubt its efficacy as long as we avoid getting Vela killed.
I can't whack him anyhow.
Hey there, be right there.
Of course. Ah!
Good, good, good. Okay. Now I'm going to move up and cast an empowered version of Lightning. Aloth. I actually want you to cast Minor Missiles and keep it at distance. Serafin, get up there.
Be blowing a man down.
Dead man, how could you? Alright, it looks like we didn't kill the war chief. Aloth, what are you doing up there? Buddy, no. You got Sigil of Atrophied. That's bad. Okay, let's see if you can deal with that skirmisher, because boy, everyone else needs to be focused on the war chief right about now. Interrupting and throwing back. Oh, affects allies. I keep remembering that, forgetting that's why we don't use it.
I'll teach you a lesson.
Get him, Serafin. Aloth, you did it! Still eating the Sigil of Atrophy though, so get the fuck out.
There's something you don't see every day. Yeah?
Yes, get a knockdown, we're good to go. Yeah, like, it would be fun to wrestle as well, sure, but fucking is a lot more important. I would reuse that skill. And having a decent understanding of where I can improve, that would be much more useful to me. Oh, took down the wall.
I can't wait to make some new friends.
Oh, it also explodes. Amazing. Gunpowder barrel crits gunpowder barrel for 106 damage. Ugh. Good thing we could loot a squid. Well, she is an extra challenge. Mother Sharprock. From between the bars stares a frail and sickly Shorep. It shrinks when you near, pressing itself into the furthest corner of its cage, trembling. Around its neck are the remnants of a bedraggled feather crest. Paint is smeared across its face, but the paint is old and flaking, and it hasn't been reapplied in some time. Wow, okay, so insight, or survival, or history. The Shorep's regalia tells you that they must have been an important figure in the tribe, perhaps a high priest or mother, but its condition makes clear that those days are long past. What happened to you? The Shorep watches you with an unreadable expression on its face and says nothing. Well, let's break open the cage. The Shorep scrambles to get out of your reach, and you make no move to capture it. It stays between you and the open cage door, blinking rapidly. It tenses, then bursts out the door. Well, you go above the Sharprock, it'll be fine. Where are you going? One's over here. The Shorep watches you intently. Who locked you up? The Shorep scuttles behind you and grabs hold of your leg, points across the cave to the corpse of a large, well-adorned Shorep, one of their champions, and scowls. Why are you following me? The Shorep tilts its head slowly and blinks. It narrows its eyes, like it can't quite figure out what you mean. It glances back at the cage you freed it from and stares at you expectantly. Do you always follow your leader around? The Shorep clings tightly to your leg and refuses to let go. You want to come with me? It stares up at you, unblinking, and finally releases your leg. When you make no move to chase it away, it hops up and down excitedly. Animal kindness. The faint trace of a smile forms on Adair's lips. Lizard friend. Vela's lucky she didn't die, because in an alternate universe she did. Island name. You can name the island, because we discovered it. The land of lizard friends. Why name it? When you complete everything on an island, you fully explore it, and if it doesn't already have a name, you get to name it. I don't know. It's cute. I love it. Lizard friend. Ah, what does it do? Oh, well, it's a cook and deckhand. Mother Sharprock. The cook and deckhand. I just think that's cute, right? Well, Shield Sister, you're not a very good cook. Because you're being a surgeon, yeah. We've already got a decent cook. Well, we don't really need another deckhand right now, so I guess you're just... We're gonna chill, huh? You'll pretend to be a navigator for a bit. Called it Vela's Fall. That's pretty good. If we name every island where Vela dies Vela's Fall, that's all anything will ever be called. Not an option. Put more hagfish onto the pile. More water. More hardtack. Rid of a rack. Oh, we're getting closer to Nekataka. Some shallow waters. What will we find here, hey? Ooh. A lethargic, misshapen bird drops a damp missive onto the deck. Read. Try to critter cleaver. To slam shadows, Captain of the Defiant. I know what you're thinking. I have too many lovable cats, dogs, pigs, and birds and pigs. Like you, I once thought I could take in stray pets, care for their needs, and shower each with equal affection. But we limited beings have only so much love to spread around. Unpleasant, unfair, unfortunate. That's why I took upon myself to optimize affection and curtail my creature care. I bring you the Critter Cleaver. The cleaver is a handy, ethics-free apparatus yanked from a genuine Egwithan dig site and restored to glorious functionality. Simply slide your favorite feline down one end and let the cleaver do its charm. The best is yet to come. You see, the cleaver remembers. Stick a white bird in there, it remembers. Purple pig, it remembers. It even remembers your pet's strengths, weaknesses, and favorite places to poop. Now, your furry friend isn't just going to slide out of the cleaver's business end same as it went inside. No, they come out different. Better, sometimes. That's where it gets fun. Combinations! Want a bird to think like a pig? Want a cat to think like a different, better cat? The cleaver provides. You would be doing me a favor of epic proportions if you gave the Critter Cleaver a whirl. Once folks see you using it, everyone will want to turn. I've moved it to the far wall of the dark cupboard, which is at Periki's Overlook in Nekataka. You can find the cleaver just due west of the wooden villa. A friend and fellow animal lover. P.S. I fixed the insert receptacles that no longer accepts Orlan's and gave it a good scrubbing. You are welcome. Jimbles, you ask. What the fuck was that? I am happy to answer. Kua o Rikubu Islands. Gained experience. Morale's nearly at max as well. So we can move the food so we're no longer gaining morale with each thing. Oh, Crookspur Captain, Slavers. Now I'm pretty sure these guys will beat us in a fight. Level 10 Rogue. 60, 32. Only 50% chance to flee. Bored. Yeah, so Comrade is exactly right. What it is you've got lots of pets. You would like to have the model of one and the abilities of another. How do you do it? Feed him into the Critter Cleaver. And you can customize a pet that you prefer. Okay, so this is going to be quite hard. Quite hard. We actually want an empowered fan of flames instead. Less likely to kill some of our friendlies.
Oh?
Ahoy.
Oh, if we took a few down, that's pretty good. We can get that off. Slam. I would like a charm on this slaver, please.
Ahoy.
It is on low health now. Shield up, that's good.
Aye.
Get a cast off. And I got one.
I'll teach you a lesson.
Ooh, I think we'll get it. Nice. Whew. All over the crying now.
Yeah.
I think that's probably an invisible weather wizard that we can't see.
I got this. Of course. That'll teach you.
Bye, buddy. Critically, well, because it does shred the animal you put inside, but it remembers. Also, look at our people gaining levels and Slime Shadow's increasing in rank. Like, that's pretty good. We also are on max morale, so there's not a lot of point sharing the coins with the crew, so let's just take the money ourselves. Yeah. Okay, so that was surprisingly lucky, actually, that slavers charged us and we were like, we'll be fine, don't worry about it. Eldengrim's still damaged. We need more cannons. Did we loot any cannons from that? We did not. That is disappointing. We've got slavers. The slavers of Crooksburg. No friggin' way. I'll admit, it's perhaps quite satisfying to deal with a bit of kill some slavers and nick off with some of their gear and a lot of their coins. But let's go to Nekataka, because we can, well, for one, we should stop screwing around as much. They've shown everyone what it's like. Let's actually go to the city. We've got 15 minutes left to like make landfall and then explore just a little bit and show you what it's like. Because it's, I think, the city in the game. The rest of them, small towns. Lots of small towns, lots of islands to investigate, but this is the city. Might even meet one of the companions. Please. Could really use a priest in all of these we're going to die sort of fights. We'll be right, don't worry. I'm going to show off the rank ups of our ship. You can't pick up surety if you go to the dig site first, and I did. As you walk down the dock, your approach is noted by a cadre of heavily armoured armour. Their leader briskly leads them to intercept you. The harbour master looms over you, not deigning to stoop or lower her gaze to your level.
You're far from home, farmer. How did you make it all this way in your little boat?
The armour cranes her thick neck to look along the hull of your ship. Her expression conveys equal portions of credulity and pity.
Why do we gotta be farmers just because we're from Deerwood?
Are you a farmer?
Yeah, but you can't just assume. We got rabble-rousers too.
As her attention returns to you, the armourer's mood becomes more formal.
I'm the harbor master, Kauha. I must ask your reason for docking in Nekataka.
I'm carrying the finest hay in all of the Deerwood. Bales of it. So many bales.
I've seen enough laden ships to know how one sits in the water. Your ship cannot be carrying more than your crew and provisions.
Alright, that's a load line survey. How dare you?
Tell me the real reason you're here, or we'll put you back on your ship and tug you out of the harbor. I don't think your ship could even sail beyond the reef in its current condition.
We're fully repaired. Come on. Don't be mean. The women and men behind the harbour master nod in agreement and look to you for an explanation. Deep within you, you feel an uncomfortable boiling. You can't be certain if the sensation is physical or spiritual, but it immediately induces nausea and fills your ears with the sound of blood rushing through your head. Cutting through the din, you hear a familiar woman's voice speak. Each word comes slowly, falling with what sounds like the chiming of a small bell.
Show them.
Show them?
Show them what you are.
Hey, chat. 1. It really is important that I go to the palace. I need to learn where I can find Luminous Adra. 2. I'm a watcher and the herald of Berith. The whole Deadfire is in danger. Please let me pass. 3. I'm a watcher and the herald of Berith. Step aside or suffer the consequences. 4. To the guards. Shut up. 5. To Berith. Shut up. 6. Concentrate on folding the edge of the in-between. What is 6? Well, it would be an action. Slam Shadows tries to fold. What is fold? The edge of in-between, the space where souls go after they die before they're reborn. So, the spirit realm. That's where we started the game. Souls in the in-between are where the Watcher can speak to them and learn things. It's probably powers given to us by being a Watcher and being a Herald of Berith. What would happen? Unlikely to just straight up kill everyone, but it would certainly be exciting. What does that have to do with anything here? The Paladin Knight is speaking to us. The divinities live in the edge of the in-between. What's going to happen? You don't know. You're choosing from this list. And on, while chat votes, it is particularly important to be like, this is a cool thing to do to your players in-game. It's able to players. Some people argue it's taking away agency from them to, make their powers go haywire a little bit or have, something like this happen, but it could also make them feel really important in universe. The characters they're playing are important because they're involved in this plot because. Either they have powers invested or something's happening to them. It also is, honestly, it's kind of warlock bait. In, standard D&D parlance, warlock bait. If someone, a character, a player has chosen a class or inspiration where their character is divinely inspired, you can straight up just have them, you can have powers erupt from them, especially if they're a sorcerer. You can have a divinity speak to your cleric and just say something like, show them. Why not? Show them what you are. Why not? That's exciting. That's interesting. Brings them into the world. I understand, Luxie, don't worry. We've got a three-way split, so I'm actually going to vote myself. Scrolling up. So we got 1 vote for 2 from Comrade, we got 1 vote for 5 from Deadman. We don't have a vote from Luxie yet. At least I don't think. Yeah. You want to vote for something, Luxie? Otherwise I'm going to press a button. Or give them options they intentionally cannot understand. No, that's kind of mean. Don't give them that. One of the benefits of playing a tabletop game is that you don't actively give them, like, a list of options to choose from. A lot of the time, you let them make their own decisions and you roll with it. That's what being a GM's about. And as a player, like, you should seek options that feel gratifying to you, and if there are honestly none, because, like, you're a boxed crook or something, see if you can take a third option. Or choose the least bad. You don't want to do that. You don't want to box people in an inherently chaotic and freedom-inducing game. I'm going to choose 2. I'm a Watcher and a Herald of Berith. The whole Deadfire is in danger. Please let me pass.
I've heard enough. There's no room for you in Nekataka Harbor. Get back on your ship and head back to open sea.
Continue. The harbour master gestures toward your boat. The women and men behind her nod and murmur in agreement. The nausea continues to build inside you, blood pounding against your skull. Again, the woman's voice. Again, the chimes.
I will help you.
Slime Shadows has fallen to his knees.
What's the matter with you? What are you doing? If you're trying to scare us with some cipher mischief, save the purple flames for the tribes of the Outer Islands.
The roar in your head begins to abate. The ringing of the chime becomes clearer, rhythmic, 2 successive peals followed by a brief respite. You realize the chime is ringing in tandem with your heartbeat. You open your eyes. The harbour master is gesturing wildly, presumably to get your attention and yelling in your face, but you hear no words, only the ringing of the chime as your heart rate slows and slows and slows and slows.
Now.
What? What is this?
Run for it!
The 6 definitely just shortcuts to that, except Slime
So
is...
much for discretion.
Slime is in more control of it when you do that. We've gained enough experience to level. I'm gonna get a point of stealth. Mechanics is pretty good for now. Yeah, exactly. Hey, check out these ghosts, baby! Paralyze and immobilize people around him? Yes, please. You need some crowd control out of Slam. Nothing else is that good. Yeah. Cool. And, like, this is supposed to be a dramatic turn. Like, why is Berith assisting you in this way, especially when they were not pleased to help you in other ways? Why is it happening now? Why is it like this? Questions you've got to ask yourself. Questions you've got to ask her and can't, because she's a jerk. I want to ensure more consistent hits, and then we'll also take this, some more consistent crits. You're a good man, Adair.
Oh?
History. Take metaphysics later. Aloth. You're the best, man. Switch inspiration, action speed, health, delays over time. That's fine. Poor Adair is a rogue fighter and he's used to tanking and taking all the damage for us. Someone's going to take Intimidate. Barbaric Blow? Oh yeah, absolutely. Also, no. Bonus to damage. Let's do that instead, actually. Wild Blow is great, but I'd rather just get a straight up damage blow at all. Damage bonus at all times. Only there was a paladin character. Well, happy to inform you.
Of course.
There is. I think we can meet her pretty soon, too. Now that no one's around, we can just loot all this stuff. Hell yeah.
Nice and quiet.
While in port, we don't need to provide food and water to our crew, which is very helpful. They'll handle themselves. Several of them leveled up as well, which makes them better in their particular jobs. I don't think it strictly did this time, which is a shame, but, you know, do what you can. Yeah, it's true. It's just a couple of minutes. We're looting the area. Poor Adair needs a nap.
It is not as easy as it seems to turn a profit in Neketaka, but there is opportunity.
A door watcher. Rolls of fabric and garments of various materials are arranged here, from fine silks to spools of thick.
Need a fresh jacket or pants? Something more delicate? If you have a frame, I can fit cloth to it without fuss.
The tailor eyeballs your shoulder width, doing some mental calculation. Let's take a look at that, but first...
Watcher. Tiverus. Is it really you?
Hello, Palagina.
Hey, I know those feathers. Palagina. It's been ages. But what's happened to your armor?
Know this last Cap? Oh, I weren't aware you favoured feathers.
Palagina's mouth hangs open in shock. Though her hair and feathers have the same immaculate grooming as when you last saw her, her breastplate's 5 suns have been carefully scratched off. She looks down into the armor and back up to you with a pained glance.
I'm sure that even at Cadnua, you must have heard what happened when I returned to the Republics.
I did. I'm sorry things didn't work out for you. She glances away and gives an appreciative nod. You can see the muscles in her jaw clenching as the seconds pass.
The Republic survived. That is the most important thing. And here the company's business seems to be getting on fine without my interference.
I could use the help, Palagina. I'm hunting down Aethys. Her eyebrows arch, the membranes of her eyes sliding back out and back as the weight of your words hit her.
I suppose I should not be surprised considering all we went through. But no. I will not be coming with you, Watcher. I would be lucky if I wound up dead.
No, it won't be like that, I promise.
Corres, Watcher.
A mixture of sadness and anger flashes across her face. It's quickly replaced by a familiar, calm expression. She nods once and turns to go. Corre, a valiant farewell, literally contraction of go with the gods.
Smooth, Cap. Like barnacles.
Well, you see, I can't say we'll recruit a paladin on next episode because we can't recruit Palagina right now. Because we got her fired. Remember how we encouraged her to live her dream and ignore her orders and follow her own rules and see how that turned out? Well, it turned out poorly for her and she is not pleased with us because of it. Hilariously, that's really difficult for me because even, like, a lot of the time I miss out on the subtleties of that quest with Palagina, so it just seems to happen. And weird that it comes back in such a dramatic fashion in Pillars 2. But hey. Anyway, it is 10:01. And it has been a lovely, beautiful session tonight. Thank you very much for joining us on this lovely Monday. For our friends in Canberra, and I think most of Australia, we have Wednesday off work as a public holiday. Now, it is, I think, Australia Day. Now, it's also Invasion Day as well, because sovereignty was never ceded, and it is a historical date of massacre. So, if you can, please Google Pay the Rent Aboriginal. And make a donation to a cause in that way, and try not to have a celebration of a massacre of the native and indigenous people of the continent in which I live and for my life. Otherwise, there's nothing wrong with taking the day and spending it with the people you love and doing good with it, because fuck man, it's better than working to earn money for a company. I don't intend to do anything special except stream on Wednesday night, so I'll see you then for a day of relaxation and hopefully social good. Believe it, we've all earned it. Look after each other. Tell the people you love them very much. And I think I'll go do that now, because like Emma's in the living room, I'm going to go hug her right now. Cheers, thank you for joining me. Cheers to everyone in the vault as well who is perhaps finding Pillars of Eternity in retrospect. Remember that if you can join in, you're very welcome, and if all you want to do is watch in your own time, you're very welcome to do that too. You're as much part of this adventure as everyone else. Love you very much. Have a good night. I'll see you Wednesday.